Hey to you, Clint. How you doing, man? All right. How's it going, everybody? Appreciate you coming to the after chat. Oh, 100 people already. Wow. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you. I'll break this all down in a second for you. Let's listen to these fat jams.
Let's play a game. Get your panties out of a twist and give us a call sign or beat it.
As always, if you if you end up hearing some bad actors on ham radio and you have a radio that can record it, or you can record it off your phone, record it and send it to me at josh@hamtactical.com, because I might just make another song like the one you just heard. Yeah, I made that. Not that it's any good. I'm not going to pretend like I make music or anything like that. But I did that, and it was it was some hams arguing on the air, and I had a lot of fun with it. Anyway, thanks for coming to the after chat. Again, big shout out to Ray Novak for getting on with us and answering our questions. And I got to say, some of you guys, you're trying to haul him to the mat and answer some of these questions, and I think Ray did a pretty good job in answering it. I think he's a really good spokesman for ICOM. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else he has to say to that. ICOM has done a fantastic job in outreach and amateur radio, continue to do so. They view that as the way to grow amateur radio is by giving back for these actual groups of people like BSA, right? Boy Scouts. No, just Scouting America now. That's right, Scouting BSA. And all the other cool stuff that they do in support of people that are actually out there doing radio. So I just support them. I do. And as much as I do all the other brands too, I do. But, you know, I got a special place in my heart for ICOM. All right, guys. So how the after chat works, it's really quite simple. We answer your questions. That's the whole goal. We want to be here for you. And I appreciate we're not the Elmer you have on speed dial, and we're not your local club, and you should always find somebody like that. You should find somebody who can help you answer all your ham radio questions. But if you can't do that, if you don't have the option, well, the best we have to offer is the Ham Radio Crash Course Discord. Link is in the description. It is a 24/7 Discord. Literally, I've seen Ham Radio questions that are in the wee hours of the morning, and they still get help from people that are willing to help them. And that's what we're all about. Literally, that is the sole focus of. If you were to nail it down to one thing that our Discord is about, my channel and all the other stuff, it's to get you on the air, to get you ham radio active. And yes, there's plenty of things the Discord does beyond that, but our core tent stake, our tent pole thing, if you will, to use a political term, is to get people started in amateur radio. The best way to do that, join us on the Discord, and then when you're playing around on there, it gets confusing maybe for people that are not familiar with it, but on the left-hand side are all of our chat rooms, if you will. And if you scroll all the way down to the left where it says live-stream, click on that. That's the text chat for this live stream we're about to do. And then underneath that, 2 down, is live-stream/after chat. That's a voice chat where you're going to hear me, you're going to hear you all talk. And if you do join us over there, highly recommend it. Make sure you PTT a mic, get that set up, give it a mic, give it some headphones, and you'll be able to talk to us, and we can give you answers directly. And that's exactly what we're looking for. So appreciate that. Somebody said something about Girl Scouts. So how come there can't be Boy Scouts? How come there can't be? Yeah, I'm not willing to go down this rabbit hole. I will tell you, this is my totally non-ham radio thing I have to say right now, but I was a Boy Scout. I went through the Life Merit Badge. If anybody wants to go deeper into why I'm not an Eagle, you could go dig up some of my old live streams. I basically am, but that's as far as I'll say. There, a ton. I have the utmost respect for the Boy Scouts. I still do. Scouting BSA. See, I'm still gonna have trouble doing that. Don't worry. You know, I'll get better. But Um, I went to a scouting event where there was a young lady scout, and she was, in my eyes, in growing up as a scout, now looking back as an adult, one of the best scouts I've seen in many years. She had all her stuff dialed. She was out there doing the frontier builds, the camp inventions at the jamboree. She knew her lashings, everything that I threw at her. She was just on point. Fantastic scout. Highest level of respect for her. So I'm down. Like, I'm down. There's plenty of situations where the, the the different genders can be together in scouting events, and I think it's great. I think everybody values from it. So I'm yeah. If you That's not a political statement. That's not a political statement. I think that there's people that need to learn this stuff. Kids need to learn this stuff to be better, well-rounded kids. I don't care how you get it. These are the options we have, and I think it's good. I think it's good. There's obviously more rules and other stuff that goes behind that. I'm not prepared to talk about that, nor are you here for that. So you're done with me BSing about this kind of stuff. Let's have some fun. Join us on the after chat as I say hi to my friends over on the Discord. Hello. Oh,
Josh has made it.
oh, got a hot mic. Or am I there? You can hear me okay? We're good?
Yep, we're good.
Oh, nobody was talking. I didn't know. I didn't know what to do because
No,
nobody was talking.
we were in a pause.
How you
Go
doing?
ahead.
How's it going, everybody?
Going well.
Mm.
Had a great Prime Day. Hope you did too.
I did not have the greatest Prime Day, although I did buy a smoker. I bought another.
Nice.
My electric smoker crapped out on me. I bought a better electric smoker. At least that's what I believe, reading the Amazon reviews. But I'll tell you, the person that had the best Amazon Prime Day is my wife, because I think 20 boxes got dropped off at my house, and I had to carry them inside the house, and it was quite the haul. So hopefully
Yeah.
it's been good for her. So
I think I got at least that many myself.
so if there are so Snow Cones dropped me a question. There's a number of other stuff comes in. So Snow Cones, I'm gonna try and get you in a second here. So but yeah, how should I take the Snow Cones question? Oh my God, he's got another one. He just repeated it. Okay. You know what? We're gonna take Snow Cones questions right up front, just so I can get it out of the way, and then we can go. So if you didn't know this, we go to people who are new to the Discord and are first time chatters with us first for their questions. But I'm gonna take his question first, so everybody can get assembled here and get ready to go. So my buddy Snow Cones, by the way, he's the guy who sent me the doublet. I think he's also sent one to one Mike K at MRD. And ho buddy, what a great antenna. Anyway, he says, I got some questions for you about Yagis. Tomorrow, Yagi is a directional antenna, by the way. Tomorrow, I'm going to pick up an entire package, 50-foot tower, rotator, an SDA 100 controller, new Step IR 3-element like yours that came from a silent key. Everything was parked on the antenna before he passed, and all hardware is gonna, and all the hardware I'm gonna need. Okay, it was. Don't even tell me you paid $2,500 for all that. I don't want to hear it. For the entire package from, that's a really good deal. From a friend of mine from my daily 80-meter chats. I know Step IR is manufactured about 20 miles away from me. Jeez, you're making this even easier. And he has a number of questions. One, I was planning to use a Times LMR 400 UF. Will that be sufficient? Yes, it would be sufficient, depending on length. A feet. Tell me how many feet you got to run. Two, should I use a one-to-one choke? Yeah, I have a one-to-one choke on my Step IR. Three, any other tips for the Step IR? Anything I should be worried about? So you have an SDA 100. I have an SDA 2000. I would recommend upgrading to the SDA 2000. That would be my recommendation for control. Anything I need to look out for? So the way that the Step IR works is it's like a tape measure that's on a stepper motor that can like extrude and extend and retract the elements of the antenna to give you the exact match you need. So the only areas that you're going to deal with, I'm assuming you may have to take this down or take it apart or something like that, is they use like telescoping mass, like we use for the DX Commander and other stuff like that. You're gonna, when you look at those things, degradation of weather is going to be your main concern. If those things are totally cooked, you can just go buy more of those things from Step IR, remeasure them, and weather strip them out. Because what they do when you buy them, when you assemble it, is you will fully extend the telescoping mast piece that the piece is going to go through, and then you will add heat shrink onto the joints to lock them in place. So moving them is like almost not possible without killing those weather stripping. And once you kill that weather stripping, you're gonna have to do that when you get back to your place. You're gonna have to redo the whole thing to some degree, right? Some degree. So, as much as I can probably give you more pieces of information there, you might want to reach out to Step IR and say, "Hey, guys, I'm going to buy one of these things. What do I need to do to get it back up on the air?" And they'll likely tell you if you're, I don't know about the SDA 100, but the SDA 2000 has a bunch of on-screen tests you can do for motor checkouts and all that other stuff that you'd like to make sure that those all work before you hoist it up on the tower. You definitely want to do all of that on the ground before doing that. Obviously, the control wire that goes into this, you're going to need enough length of control wire as well to go to the box that controls the antenna. So there you go. And then there you can check out Mike's comment as well. Make sure you're using Messi and Poloni coax. Right on. Shout out to Messi and Poloni.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. So what's that?
I was just saying, thanks, Josh.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Okay, so this is the after chat. We got started really late because we went with Ray Novak a little long, and he was, he had a lot of fun with you guys. Thanks for taking the time to ask questions. We hope we got to all of them. Some of you, oh my gosh, some of you were like too salty with your questions. I don't even know how I'm gonna like pop those up on the screen in some cases. Like, I don't know what the point is to be made. This is not like we're not fighting over radio. All the companies existing is a good thing, so be happy about it. Ask your question, but do it in a way that's not a jerk. That's all I got to say about that. All right. Is there anybody in the chat that would like to ask a question? Maybe it's your first time here. First time have a question. You're the reason why we're out here. So if you take the time to ask your question, I'm sure we're going to spend some time to answer it. Anybody out there that meets those qualifications, go ahead. Well, maybe not. No newcomers, no first timers in the chat today. Go ahead. Were you going to say something, Don?
Well, I just was going to say, did you see Turk 917's question? Of course, he's in the YouTube, but...
Oh, I see. So this is... do I have the right one? Yeah, I do. I need assistance trying to use my laptop on Discord. A text of a code was sent through my phone. The laptop is not taking the code due to Discord is on my phone. How do I fix this?
That's the one below it. A 15-year-old, am wanting to start a ham radio club at my high school.
Sorry. Well, let me answer Ruben's really quick.
Sure.
So, Ruben, you already have a Discord account, so just log in with your Discord account on your laptop. It's the same account. Don't make a new account. Don't do anything crazy like that. If it's on your phone, just use the same login. But you can also use your phone. Just click on go to this video that you're watching me on. Go to the description and click on the link for Discord on your phone, and it'll take you to the server. You're on the server. That's it. That's all there is to it. You'll be good to go. You can use your phone. It's just you have to PTT on your phone. It's okay. From Turk with a cool fox avatar. We love foxes here at my house. Question: I, a 15-year-old, right on, I'm wanting to start a ham radio club at my high school. Are there any tips for trying to get more kids my age involved? Oh my goodness, I have so many recommendations, but the most fundamental, important thing that you need is someone on staff or a teacher that's willing to go down this road with you. It is very difficult to get any kind of traction for any club, not just an amateur radio club, if there isn't a teacher or someone on staff that is not willing to make that journey with you. Because Turk, I'm going to call you Turk for sake of this discussion, you're going to age out of that school. You're going to go into another school. You're going to go to college where there will probably be a ham radio club. You need to set up a legacy of having someone that works there be able to lead or at least guide the direction of the club. If you are willing, I think you can email Steve K5ATA. If you have someone that's on, actually on facilities, or a teacher that's willing to go down this road with you, you should reach out to Steve K5ATA at the ARRL. He is the one that has like an entire syllabus for this kind of stuff. These talking points, all the things you have to do. He's your man. I have not set up a ham radio club in a high school, so I can't really tell you other than my recommendations. But Steve K5ATA is the one for sure you need to talk to. I'll see if I can get you his email, or can you just find him? Can somebody help me out on that on the chat? I'll let you guys handle it if you can. Otherwise, if you can, I'll dive back in. But Turk, great question, and good luck in setting up your club, because I really do mean that when I say you do need some kind of adult there to be the facilitator, and you likely need some kind of physical space. So a teacher that actually has a room that you can put a radio in is going to be kind of what you need to make this work. So, okay.
Also, he or she needs to keep coming back to giving us updates.
Yeah, it looks like K5ATA at ARRL.net. So there you go. And you can say you asked this question on the HRCC live stream and see if he helps you out. Cool.
And give him Josh's promo code.
Yeah, give him my promo code. There's no promos here. This is just you.
Tell him Ham Radio Tube sent you. I raised enough money for him.
That's true. That's
we,
true.
We raised enough money for him.
Well, thank you. I did play a part. But yeah, it was good job, Mike. Good job. I appreciate you. All right. So I probably didn't say it in the best way possible when I kicked this off, but if you are new to the Ham Radio Crash Course Discord and you just want to say hi, this is your first time, we want to welcome you. We really do. That's what we're all about here. Or you have a question. The questions are what we really want. That's why you're joining us on the Discord, is to answer these questions. So if you have any of the above, come forward now. It's your time. We're going to take all the time to help you out as best we can. So go for it.
I got about 2 or 3 questions over here if we can squeeze that in.
I love it. Go for it, man. Floor's yours.
Alrighty. I spoke a couple times about trying to get my mom in the hobby. She said she's on board. I'm trying to find her a mobile radio. I did a little bit of searching.
Mm-hmm.
I think Yaesu is going to be the best bet because Fusion and Wires X has kicked off up here.
Okay.
Kind of minimal requirements that I'm looking for is APRS. User-friendly, definitely, because she uses her radio in public safety as least as she can because it's a headache, to say the least. So I'm looking for user-friendly, VHF, UHF dual band, APRS with YSF/Wires X. Any good recommendations?
Well, yeah, there's a ton, but do you know the most fundamental important question that I'm going to ask back to you?
I've heard this question before, but I forgot it.
What's your budget?
I kind of forgot about that. Maybe 300, 350, I guess would be a pretty good ballpark. I'm going to try and get this as a Christmas present for her.
Okay. So what is that? Is that the Yaesu 300? Is that the one that...
He'd probably do the 200 or the 300.
Yeah, so what I would recommend you do is, with the time you got here, is pull up video reviews for the Yaesu 200 and 300. Since you need APRS, those are going to be the ones you want.
Copy that. I got a 200 myself from my buddies at the club, and I really like it, and that's what really sparked my the YSF and wires, because I didn't realize how much it's been kicking off up here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up in Colorado, so if you've heard of SkyHub, you know that Analog and Yaesu systems are 2 of the biggest ones that are linked into it. So yeah, there's that. I appreciate that. I'll do a little bit searching. Second question: what's the difference between like Aries and Races? Reason I'm asking is I'm part of the volunteer fire department. And I was kind of curious how Races works with public safety and stuff.
So you'll find that Races is more tangentially connected to first responders than Aries. From my experience, Races is a DHS, Department of Homeland Security derivative. So they will be attached to like a sheriff's station or something along those lines. So they have a little bit more connectivity, I think, with those entities. that's neither to say that Aries or Races is better than another. I think oftentimes it comes down to the adjacency of where you live and the actual clubs that exist that work with those Races or Aries. Do you have Races in your area? Is that why you're asking?
I don't have Races as far as my knowledge is concerned. We allegedly have Aries, but I reached out to the Aries coordinator for my area, email, phone number, all that. His phone number's disconnected for what they had on file, and he doesn't answer emails, so he kind of vanished, I guess is what you could say. So that's kind of why I was asking how I would want to start that. I know our club really doesn't do much with it. We did do a volunteer gig for a marathon. But other than that, we don't have much other stuff going on.
So that's a really interesting point that you say that, because that's exactly what my experience was with Aries in Los Angeles County, which is where I live. And yeah, I've sent emails. I filled out my form. I went in there and set all the radio connectivity that I have, which is everything basically. And I've gotten no response or no feedback from them at all, which I'm not going to say like, oh, I'm Josh, I'm so special, you should call me back. But it's like, I'm just any ham. Like, wouldn't you at least tell me when you're meeting? Are you not meeting? Like, is this not a thing? So I don't know. I really don't know the answer to this question. But I'll tell you what, I am going to be doing a live stream with Amanda from Ham Nation. And she's going to be talking about the realities of coordinated amateur radio groups like Aries and Races, and what real emergency preparedness in that sense looks like. I think that on my channel, we've talked more about personal MCOM, like, personal SHTF radios, preparedness of radios, all that stuff. But I think Amanda's going to give us the more institutionalized version of it, in the sense of like someone who's actually very well connected with a very well functioning many groups of hams that work together that are emergency focused with communication. So I'm really excited about doing that live stream with her, but I think that's going to give us a little bit of a better understanding. Larry Ford, with your all caps comments, are 100% correct. So Aries is connected with the ARRL, right? That's in its name. Your section manager, the section that you're in the ARRL, has a manager, right? And they have an email. You can contact them, and you should, in this case, because you're not getting any feedback from the coordinator. You should do that.
Yeah, I haven't.
No, go ahead, Don. You're a little bit more expert than I am.
Well, here's the thing. So I live in an area that is Races based, but just north of us, the city just north of us that like is right across, or used to be right across the street from me, is Aries based. And what I have seen very pointedly of the difference is that Races cannot activate themselves. They have to be activated by their like Josh said, their EOC equivalent. And then Races is more informal. And so here in Dallas, and one of the things I wanted to say, by the way, is I think here in this area of the country, we have more coordinated things like this because we use it. Mm-hmm. It happens a lot here. We have tornadoes, we have storm tracking that we do, all of that kind of stuff. Now, Races never does that. Races only comes in a disaster, essentially, and so you have to be called up. But what we do in our city where we do Races is when we need those informal nets, those are all done through Skywarn. So another thing you can look into is Skywarn, because we activate under Skywarn in our Races area. So Races never is involved, but the Aries group activates under Aries, and they do the same thing. They're tracking basically the same storms, but in their city rather than in our city. So that's the differences that I've seen, like real time.
A difference between Aries and Races. Aries can be self-activated. In other words, the hams can do that. They can join anything and do any type of community type activity, such as bike rides. What else was I thinking about?
Beer crawl,
run.
pub crawl.
Right. Run.
Well,
I'd like Racy's
and
Racy's self-deploy to the local pub crawl.
parades, all of that kind of stuff.
I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah. Races has to be activated by your local EOC or a government official of some sort, mayor or something like that.
But
Right.
Aries would say don't self-deploy because they work off of the same fundamental system, I believe. I don't think they're just self-deploying.
Yeah, they can actually, and they do. Yeah, because again, like I said, in the Skywarn or in the storm tracking, they activate under that. And so I know they're tracking storms under their Aries stuff. So they're using their whatever.
We might be dipping into the world of speculation. I just want to make sure that we clearly state that.
Well, I'm a Racy's member, so I ought to know how that works.
No, but I'm saying Aries. Just let me clarify. Let me clarify.
I live on the border between two.
Let me clarify that things are going to be dependent on where you live and the conditions you're in, right? You're going to usually coordinate before you self-deploy. There's multiple people that are screaming right now, do not self-deploy. I'm not going to make any claims like that. Nothing we say is telling people to self-deploy. Please, everybody watching me, I'm telling you we don't do that, right? Make sure you're coordinating everything with whatever group you're in for whatever county you are in or rural section.
And I would say define self-deploy because our Aries coordinators come in and deploy and activate the Skywarn or the storm tracking nets. To me, that's not self-deploying. To me, self-deploying is me going out and activating as Aries with nobody telling me to do it.
I'm not going to split individual. Hairs. I'm not going to split hairs.
Well, I know what you're saying, I don't get it.
I'm not going to split hairs over this. I'm not going to split hairs. Okay, we're not going to self-deploy. Skywarn is its own thing. If you want to go watch storms, I mean, literally, we did a Ham Nation episode where Amanda talked about Skywarn, and the fundamental statement that they made was do not self-deploy, e.g., go chase storms, right? It's if you are in an area and you have your Stormwatch training, or Skywarn, that you're looking out for that stuff and you report that information. You don't go chase down weather necessarily, right? I think that was definitely what I heard said.
No, I agree. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not been my experience, but like I said, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just saying it's just not my experience.
John, I hear you. But what would you want every ham watching this right now to walk away from knowing? To probably not self-deploy, right?
Well, to listen to what's going on around you and work with your clubs. That's what I would say, because that's what I'm saying. These are clubs that are doing this. So
with your club, okay, okay, but like self-deploy is, I'm Josh, and I've got a solar panel and a buddy hex. Let's do this. Like that's not going to be a thing you do. Like I'm Josh, and I'm here to help. Like that's not going to work.
Right. That's exactly what I was saying. That is not what we do.
Okay.
There is a net coordinator that comes on, changes the repeater over, and starts firing up the Aries net. This is in Plano.
Sure.
In Richardson, we are Racy's, and we activate Skywarn.
We're Racy's, and we're here to help.
Yeah. No, Racy's is actually the only time they go is when they are asked to by a city or a county or whatever coordinator. So there's an official person that does it, and they have to practice every freaking week.
Yes,
there is a yeah. And so It's a more formal thing, yeah.
Yeah, so non-typical ham ass, how famous do you have to be in a live stream with you? Laugh out loud. Anybody can join the Discord right now and join us on the voice chat. That's a fantastic question. And yeah, you can absolutely start talking with us right now. If you mean like beyond the live stream like Ray was an hour ago, you don't have to be famous. You just got to have something cool we talk about. Reach out to me, josh@hamtactical.com. I'll be happy to bring you on. Let's talk about something cool, though. Let's teach the people of amateur radio about something fun. Now, Aaron... Yikes, touchy subject. Aaron, the reason for this is I want to be, I don't mean it to be touchy because as far as I'm concerned, as an amateur radio operator, if you want to go prepare for emergency preparedness and communication in your ham shack, in your life, what you do with your family, go nuts. Be as prepared as you want to be. I'm all about that. I think you've seen my videos. I think you know that. The touchiness is when we say self-deploy, like what that means is you're showing up to like the emergency coordination area, right? We're not all just allowed to swing into the EOC and be like, "Hey guys, I'm the ham radio dude. I'm here to help." Because if that was the case, there'd be a ton of people doing that, right? So there's usually some kind of coordination that happens, and that generally follows on with the amount of people who volunteered and participated and been active with their Aries and Races groups to be considered someone that they would call upon if the need arises to participate as an amateur radio operator. So yeah, it can be touchy, but it's because just randomly showing up as a person with a radio is not really welcomed in most cases these days. There are exceptions. Go ahead.
Thanks, Josh. Sorry if I stirred up a hornet's nest.
No, it's a good question. It's a great question. Go ahead.
But yeah, I'm going to a CERN meeting in about 2 weeks, and I figured I'd ask some of you guys first, see if I am asking the right questions and things like that. Reason I'm holding this so close to my heart is I got in a wreck earlier in the month, and thank God for a radio, because I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my daggum radio. So yeah.
Now, that's another very good point, is that you using a radio to save the life of yourself or another person, that's just up to your preparedness of radio, and it sounds like that actually worked out very well for you.
Yeah, it was wild. I was just out of range of my local repeaters, so I was able to, the locals were able to identify it was me, and I was in trouble, but they couldn't get much more. Thankfully, I worked for the BLM and Forest Service, so I had access to our repeaters. And when it was all said and done, I was telling everybody, I'm fine, I just need stitches. Come to find out, I fractured my pelvis and fractures on my spine in the side-by-side. So, yeah.
Sorry, did you say fractured your spine?
Yeah, I had compression fractures on my spine because I got ejected from the side-by-side up in the forest, because we rolled, and the impact on my head sent compression fractures down my spine.
Oh no!
Yeah, so yeah, I did not enjoy staying the night in the hospital where they wake you up every 2 hours
to stick you with a needle. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just to get vitals, and don't get me wrong, props to the people at my local hospital for taking care of me, but I am glad to be back in my own bed, to say the least.
Hold on one second. So Ray is trying to download the Discord app right now, and I think he's already been on Discord, so he's dealing with some of the same things that you guys have all dealt with. Discord is very bad at this, by the way. If you already have a Discord account and you click the Discord link for the HRCC, it's going to it's going to pretend like you're a new user of Discord. That's like poppycock. Don't do that. If you already have Discord, just log into Discord with your app, then click the link, and you'll just join the server at that point, because you're already fully accounted.
Something that I figured out was if you were to just copy the link, like you were going to copy and paste it, go to find a new server, put it in there. It worked pretty good for me when I was setting up my new computer and stuff.
There you go, Ray, if you're watching that. Yeah, if you just copy the link for the Discord, you can drop it in and join. The question in the chat, hopefully full recovery. Are you fully recovered, or are you still dealing with some of the scars there?
I got a pretty darn good scar on my head. If I remember, I came out to 17 staples, 5 stitches in my head, so I got a good scar there. little
decent.
shoulder rash because I had a shoulder strap for my mic and my radio. So yeah, I got a little bit of that, and I go to the doctor's on the 24th to see if I'm cleared to drive again, and that will determine if I'm allowed to go back to dispatch.
Are you telling me that ham radio almost killed you?
No, a fun time before church almost killed me.
Oh, no. Either way, that's not good. I don't think those are good. That's not good to hear either way.
Yeah, props to my fire chief for giving me that Wildland radio, because if I was just wearing my using one of my cheapo radios, it would have exploded on impact 100%.
Yeah, right on. Well, I'm glad you're still with us and you're kicking and fighting and you're asking questions about giving your mom a present, which is, all things considered, pretty honorable. So thank you for hanging out with us.
It's the least I could do. She was the EMT in the back.
Oh, she's like, you better not die on me, because if you die, you're grounded.
And it gets even more wild. So I called the Mayday out on my radio because my phone wasn't working. And then as soon as I got it out, my phone started working with barely any cell signal. I had enough to call her, tell her, me and my buddy were in a wreck. I'm messed up pretty bad. He just has some road rash. I need help.
Mm-hmm.
And then the call dropped. She didn't know I already got in touch with dispatch.
Oh, no. So she's flipping out.
So, yeah, I told her kind of the area where I was at. She hauled butt up there, called in the dispatch, said she was on scene. And, yeah, it's a lot of fun when your mom is in the back of the ambulance. She's like, told you to be careful. I was like,
she's going full mama bear right now because you disconnected on her. She doesn't know whether to be mad at you or mad at everyone else.
She should be mad at me because I was driving.
All right, okay. All right. Well, it sounds like you're on the mend and things are better. Appreciate you asking the question. Good question. And yes, I do remember you asking this before. So, you can always, but by the way, and this didn't come up on the conversation with Ray, but a lot of radios have like an accessory port on the back for audio. And you can plug in your own MobiLink TNC. In fact, that's exactly what Jason KM4ACK did because he wasn't happy with the Yaesu 500, the big head radio. He plugged his own TNC in the back and then now uses his own interface for APRS. You can do that with most radios these days. So, just keep that in mind.
Copy that. Oh, and little Easter egg. I saw the Twisters movie today, and the TYT dual band radios made it into the movie.
Ah, TYT is in it. Oh, we've upgraded from Baofangs.
The TYT, crap, what were they? The 9800.
Was it the 9800?
Yeah. The humongous head and humongous mics. I think a couple of the Baofeng business radios got in there too. I don't know. I was super jazzed by it.
That's pretty impressive. All right. Well, Chinese radios are fully embedded in our culture as far as moviedom, apparently, because Baofangs are everywhere. Just look around any movie, you'll see them.
You guys didn't mention the Uniden CB. Come on.
I haven't seen it yet.
I forgot about the CB. They had like every vehicle had a CB or a TYT in them. I forgot about that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But you cannot convince me. Glenn Powell has to be kind of a douchebag in every movie he plays. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Who's Glenn Powell? I'm sorry. I don't know who that is.
He played in this Twisters movie, and then he was also Hangman in the new Top Gun movie.
That guy? Oh, he was in Top Gun? Maverick?
Yeah, he was in Maverick as the cocky young pilot.
Yeah, I get. He's got a bit of a punch me face a little bit. I can see that.
Do you know there's a ham radio joke in that Angry Birds movie?
No, is there?
Yeah. There, and I noticed it today because I was watching that movie. But anyway, they're in one thing they're on the pig ship and they're running around the ship going room to room to room.
Oh, I see where this is going. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They open up one of the doors and there's this thing that looks like a radio, and the one of the birds comments, "Oh, look, a ham radio."
Great. Fantastic. Yeah, very, very good. No way that they were trying to go after the low-hanging fruit there, but all right. Who's here for the first time that would like to say hi or ask a question? Come now. We want to help you. We do.
So I have two questions. There's a repeater a couple miles from my house.
Okay.
I tried talking on that one. I can ka-chunk the repeater, do all of that, but no one can hear me, and I do not know why.
Okay, so let's break this down. He said some magic words there that ham radio operators know for everybody that's hearing us for the first time and catching us up and don't really know what he said. Kerchunking a repeater is where you've got the frequency set, right? So you think you got the frequency right, and you got the offset, so meaning it's going to step up or it's going to step down. And then third, you're going to have a PL tone or like a CTCSS tone that your radio is going to transmit, which lets the repeater know, hey, it's time to go to work. And then it's going to start retransmitting your signal. Well, when you let go of the PTT, oftentimes the repeaters will come back to that station and give them like a beep or some like static crash kind of noise. So you are doing that, right? You're hearing that happen?
Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear people talking on it and all of that.
How close are you to the repeater?
Let me look at a repeater book real quick.
And HT or mobile?
Yeah, that's the next question.
Well, since this is my first ham radio, since I'm still new to it, it's a Baofeng GT5R. And
okay, HT, the QRP of BHF UHF.
Yeah,
right.
I did replace the antenna with a, I can't remember what a breed it is, but it's one of the folding ones.
Okay.
So the repeater is 13 miles away, and to me, I'm pretty sure I have like a direct shot to it. Like I can see the mountain that it's on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
We lost you there. So,
yeah, like it's literally I can look out my window and I'm pretty sure I can see it. Like see the mountain that it's on.
Do you by chance? Well, no, he already confirmed he chunks the repeater. Do you by chance have a second radio?
No, I do not have a second radio that can transmit.
So there's one of two things I assume is happening. Is one, you just don't have that strong of enough of a signal that's making it into the repeater. So I would go outside and try and talk outside, facing directly at it, hopefully on a clear, open sky. Then you won't have that problem. Make sure the radio is set to high power. And then if you had a secondary radio, you could listen on the receive side and be able to hear it if you're making it in. Otherwise, they could just be being jerks and they don't want to talk. That's the other thing that could happen.
And
maybe. Because,
by the way,
go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but we're not asking you on the second radio to transmit, just to listen to yourself.
Okay, I'll try that later, probably tomorrow.
Yeah, so
Sure.
You want the second radio to hear yourself as you're transmitting with the first radio. Now, you may have to set that radio a little bit far away from you and just crank up the speaker a little bit so you don't get like a bunch of crosstalk and some other stuff that comes along with trying to do that. But that's what you're trying to do. Just make sure to check that out.
All right.
Does that radio have a mic gain?
There was a question there.
Ooh. Oh.
You still there?
I do not think so.
Okay. Well,
you might try do a factory reset if you haven't gotten it programmed too far and see if there's any settings that might have gotten goobered up.
Okay, I can try that. And for my second question, with my local cap wing, which is Civil Air Patrol, I'm going up into like a small Cessna plane, and I was going to ask my flight instructors if I can bring my radio with me to see how well it would work. Do you think like I could get like signals out from like the inside of the cockpit, because I know it's metal and sometimes ham radio doesn't like different types of metal and all of that?
Sure. So the true answer is, yeah, you're going to get some kind of signals out and somebody's going to hear you somewhere, but the most effective solution is to have an antenna in free enough space that you'd be able to make contact effectively.
Okay.
Like if you had APRS or something like that, you'd be able to probably get your beacon out pretty easily.
Comment.
Go ahead, comment.
As a flight instructor, you're going to want to conference with him about that on the ground to make sure that it's part of your plan.
Yeah,
Just
make
saying.
sure you're doing that. Make sure you're doing that first.
Yeah, I got the idea of it last night while watching another ham radio YouTuber live stream, and went, oh, I just remembered I'm gonna do that. That might be a good idea.
Oh, I'll bet that was K6UDA.
No, it was another guy. I can't remember what it was.
Mm. Well, Bob's done it before, but he was flying. He knew the guy he was flying with, and they were both amateurs, so they were both okay, or the pilot was okay with him doing it.
All right.
I was in CAP as well when I was a lot younger, and it was cool for us too. I was just wanting to make sure you plan.
Yeah, I'm gonna send out an email probably tomorrow morning about it.
So I'm getting a failure on WSJTX. I can't open it. It says sub-process error. Fail to close Orphan J9 process. Interesting.
You got hit by Cloudflare.
That's it. I got Cloudflare. I can't do WSJTX right now.
Is that the FTA equivalent of PC load letter?
Yeah, I got the PC load letter error. That's I gotta go talk to the Bobs right now to figure out what's going on.
Did get Windows 3.1 out, that wasn't affected.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, that's what Southwest is running, so that's why they were not affected. But yeah. All right, let's go back to the chat. Anybody, anywhere, let's open it wide open here. Ask any questions. Let's help you get on the air. Is there something that there's some hurdle you're dealing with? It's not allowing you to be ham radio active. What is it? We want to help you out. Go for it. Let's take those questions live and let's fix your problems.
Well, I have something to ask the group.
Okay.
So I have, well, now I've got 4 antennas out here. DX Commander, a Rybakov or a Poseidon type antenna, infed half wave, and a random wire. And I heard you're going to do a random wire to infed comparison, so I'm interested in see what you come up with.
Yeah. So,
but
real quick, Mike already reviewed it, but I have the dual-sided antenna too. I just haven't been able to get in the field with it. But I want to do a test where we adjust the wire slightly, and it happens that I have worked on a real antenna that I've been playing around with, a real wire setup that I'll be able to do both pretty effectively. And I want to do if they're staked out identically, the only difference is the length of the radiating, the actual antenna bit. Like, how do they behave differently? So that's what we're gonna try out.
Well, I do have that antenna switch now, the Antenna Genius, and boy, that thing is slick. But anyway, I can easily switch between any of those antennas. And what I've noticed is, man, the DX Commander, the noise floor is like horrible. And it's not really just that. It's the fact that, like, I go on there and I can't hear anybody. And then I'll go to like the Rybakov or the 9-to-1, and I can pull somebody out of the frickin' dirt. I mean, I have no noise floor, and I can hear, these people that are just, they don't even move my needle. It's just like being out on a POTA. And they don't even move my needle, and I can hear them brilliantly and everything else. The infed half wave, again, not so much. It will not hear the same signals that the other one, or that the other ones are doing.
And what I'm wondering specifically,
the Rybakov is one that has a 4-to-1 balun on it. Mm-hmm. And then I have a random wire 9-to-1, about 71 feet of wire, about 40 feet in the air.
Okay.
So anyway, the whole thing is like, it's just the hearing, and I'm just wondering if, like, could that be a coax issue? The 9-to-1, oddly enough, has 150 feet of coax. This is what I'm running into out here. I have to have really long runs in some cases, but the DX Commander is about 30 feet of coax. The Rybakov is about 30 feet of coax.
Okay.
The in-fed half wave is like 10 feet of coax because it literally terminates right near the entrance to the shack. And then the DX Commanders, again, about 30 feet of coax. Different types, if y'all want to go into that, I can. So in other words, mostly ABR 240, but the DX Commander is running ABR 400. So anyway, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. Is there something I should be looking at? Is just the way it is with the fact that a 9-to-1 is just not quite hearing as well,
I mean,
or hearing the noise as well. And so, anyway, I'm just so confused by the whole thing.
honestly, you've got so many variables there. I'm not sure what we're supposed to tell you, right? Like you've got coax link difference, you got all this other stuff that you've not isolated. So it's kind of hard to say why that one listens better than the others. And remember, this is supposed to be about getting people on the air. Don, you're well on the air, so I don't know why.
Yeah, that was why I asked if I should
no,
ask that question.
No. I mean, like I love the question. I want to dive in on it, but no, let's get some other people out here that are a bit
Definitely
started. Yeah, thank you. But we can come back to it.
Sure.
So yeah. Let's open it back up here. Anybody, anywhere, and yeah, I saw some chats on YouTube we're gonna come back to, but anyone on the Discord here, first time, like to ask a question. Actually, I take that back. Not first time even. If you're having trouble getting on the air for some reason, as an amateur radio operator, we want to help you out. So if you got a question, hit us up right now. Otherwise, I'm gonna go look at the YouTube chat side and see what we can find. Anybody there that's like, hey, I need some help, go for it, please.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah, what's up?
This is probably a question for Ray, and I wasn't able to ask it during the stream since I was driving.
Okay.
But anyway, I've got a 7100 in my pickup.
Okay.
Any idea what would cause that thing to shut down whenever I'm running more than half volume for me to be able to hear it?
What? You're running at half volume and that shuts it down?
Anything above that, whenever I receive a signal, it will say, nope, I'm done.
Probably the voltage you're providing it.
Should be a good solid 13.
Have you tested?
5.6. I haven't put an ohm meter to it.
You should do that.
Ohm meter to it.
Yeah, you should do that.
Please don't put an ohm meter to it.
Well,
yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Multimeter.
Power meter.
An ammeter.
Right. Because what you're doing, what you'll see, I'll bet, is that you're getting a solid, 2 or 3 amps when you're receiving. Then you key up and you're getting next to nothing. And you'll probably see also that the biggest thing that I've seen on my radios when they cut out like that is the voltage drops on transmit from like 13, 12 volts, even like 13.1, it'll drop to 11. And when it drops to 11, boom, the radio turns off. And what I had to do was bump my power or my voltage up to 14.1 to 14.2 volts so that when it dropped, it didn't drop below into that. It wouldn't drop below about 12.8 or so.
All right. I got to step in again here. This is we're also missing the point here. You're on the air. You're on the air. We're trying to help out newcomers into ham radio. And you guys are asking me all these questions that aren't related to that. Richard, hang on, man. Hang on. So, yeah, check your voltage, man. Check your voltage. It sounds like maybe you got something going on that, just anyway. Hang on.
Okay, could be.
Let's help some newcomers out, guys. Please. So, any newcomers anywhere that is not on the air, like they've got a problem, we want to help them fix it. That's what we're trying to do right now. Tonight, this is the big thing. So anybody that's been waiting, they got a problem. I got a series of chats. In fact, I'm just going to go to the chats because, oh my gosh, let's just try and fix some people's problems. They're not on the air. Reminder. Question: is it possible to use a ham stick as an end fed? I'm guessing you should add a balun or counterpoise. Can you run? No, probably not. So you'd have to get like a 20 meter. Okay, this is chaos. This is complete chaos talking. So the answer to your question is not really, because those are like quarter wave antennas, right? Because they expect some kind of ground system. If you wanted to run it as an end fed, then you'd have to like double up the ham stick lengthwise. So you'd need like a what band would you need if you wanted to half down to 10? You need a 20. You need like a 20, and then you have to adjust the stinger to get you in resonance for an end fed. But it's so chaotically loaded on 20 meters, you'd be better off just sticking up a wire for 10 meters. Just put up a 10-meter wire, an end-fed 10-meter wire. You're going to be way better off. Way better off. That's, please, yeah.
Comment.
Go ahead, comment.
Does he mean sticking it out in a horizontal direction?
No, I think he means taking a ham stick and putting it on the end of a 49-to-1 unun. I don't think that we're even at the point of talking about how it's polarized.
Fair enough.
Go to Home Depot. Get yourself some stranded copper wire. Get it right up on the air, okay? There you go. Do that, please. All right. Question. So getting on the air, what kind of antenna are you running on your radio? So, oh my gosh, you ask 1,000 hams, you'll have 1,000 different answers for this question. But we did a live stream. It was 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, on the best first time amateur radio antenna. And a lot of folks said dipole antenna, end fed half wave, fan dipole, off-center fed dipole, those three, very inexpensive. Sorry, 4. I can count. That's where you should be looking if you're looking to get on the air that way. And let's see. Question. Oh, okay, so this is a proper not on the air. Okay, so here we go. Question. Set up my Hermes today, or Hermes, depending on how fancy you are. Problem is, it is not being recognized by my network. Do I plug the Cat5 into my computer, or can I plug it into my router to discover the IP address? It's the latter. It is a network active device, and in fact, I have a switch that lives below my router, right, racked up, that I plug network devices into, and then they become aware on my network because they are connected to my router for Wi-Fi. Although you don't really need that, you just need the local, the local IP coordination. Anybody have anything to add to that one? Don, you want to add anything? You just network cable, right? No PC.
You can direct connect to the PC, but it's a whole pain. I just wouldn't do it connected to the router.
Yeah.
Because I could go into one. And in fact, I actually have switched my on and direct to the computer. But the Hermes is a little different, and it's just not worth the struggle to get a Hermes set up that way. It will work, but you have to understand what's going on the network to understand how long you will have to wait before everything gets working.
There you go. All right. Very good. I still have my whole WSJTX thing just completely borked itself. I don't know what to do with it right now.
Pull out your Hermes.
I know, right?
What's your budget?
What's your budget? Get a whole new computer. We'll have to sort that. I don't even know what to do about that right now. Can't plug into anything. All right.
Did you turn it off and on again?
Or are you?
I'm live streaming on that PC.
I know.
Use one of your Linux boxes, 73 Linux.
I might have to, but then we're not gonna be able to take some calls. No, yeah. That's exactly what I tried to do, was reinstall, and it both the uninstall of WSJTX and the reinstall completely flipped out. So I'm going to try and go back to vanilla WSJTX stable beta and see if it'll install. But I don't think it's happy right now. I think I did both. But anyway, here we are. That's just where we're at right now. All right. I think I've exhausted. Real quick one. Brett Glass obviously is on the air. But so back to early question. Any plans for Huntsville Hamfest? YouTube gathering Friday. So if you don't know what to do at Huntsville, just go to Montsano. Just go to the campsites, go to the pavilions. There's going to be some kind of activity going. Always and forever. Like that is like now the jam spot. Like there's no question where you should be. The only thing you should do, honestly, like thinking about this, like I would say if you're not on the mountain and you got some time, grab some food, grab some pizzas, some sandwiches, whatever. Bring them on up to the crew if you're willing to do that, and come hang out. There's more alcohol to kill 1,000 bears up there, like every evening. So come have a beer, hang out with us, whatever. But it's not necessary that you have to drink or anything like that. But just come hang out. Just come hang out.
Did you see Michael KK7NZF's question?
I didn't, but then I got sidetracked by killing JT9. Oh, I'm going to kill some processes. Ooh, if the stream dies. Oh, there it is. Ah, ha, ha, ha. You are dead. I killed you. You are a dead process now. I didn't see his question. What was it, Don?
It's and we may need Mike's expertise on this one.
Good.
But I have a Mac and a G90 using DigiRig. When it tries to transmit, I'm getting 0 power output.
Oh, let's see how Mike handles this. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
It was a Mac question. So he has a Mac and a G90, and whenever he uses WSJTX with the G90, oh, he's got a DigiRig, by the way, and whenever he transmits, he's getting 0 power out.
I haven't used the DigiRig or my Mac with the G90 in a while, other than when I filmed a video with it. Sometimes it's finicky, and I can't remember what the hell I did to solve it. Because I did a video when I got that MacBook Air. I did a video on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the answer right now. I'm sorry to tell you.
I can tell you a couple of things to try. So if you're on your Mac, right, if you're running any of the applications, you got to make sure you have your audio sources correct. So it might be piping audio out inappropriately. So what you can do sometimes is point whatever application you're running to run out of the speakers, because we're talking out, right? No power out means the radio is not getting the audio source to make it key up. I'm assuming you have PTT working. So if you have PTT working and the audio is like functioning correctly, you can test that by sending it to your MacBook speakers or your Mac speakers or whatever, your headphones or whatever, and then listen. Do you hear the tone of output when you test it? When you go to test PTT or tune button, do you hear it? If you don't hear it, then you're not putting any power out. So the fundamental questions are you PTTing the radio, and do you have a good audio connection? That's the second thing. If your Mac is able to spit out that audio over your speakers, then that implies that the issue is the connection between the radio and the computer. Yep. We all gonna do Fox and Hound now, the new Fox and Hound? Maybe we should do that. Maybe I should turn Fox and Hound on.
Where's the video on it, Josh?
We talked about it on Ham Nation. I haven't done a new video yet, but we could do it live. It's supposed to. I'm not ready for that. No, there's supposed to be some like key, like local side key that you have to authenticate the contact now. Like you have that capability.
It's automatic.
Anyway,
on our side, the key's automatic, is it not?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough. I'm fascinated by it, but I haven't looked into it enough.
Are you talking about the Super Foxhound mode that Randy was talking about?
Super Fox. Yeah, the Super Fox. You know what? A fundamentally important question. We didn't ask, what radio and what DigiRig are you running? Who was that asked that question, Don?
Michael KK7 NZF. He's actually in the live stream chat.
Can you talk, Michael? Can you get on? Michael, can you get on voice?
And didn't he mention a G90?
G9.
Yeah.
Oh, then he shouldn't have a problem. No, you're good. He did mention
Michael
that.
is in the Discord chat and he's unmuted, but
I'm trying.
Oh,
okay.
I
We
hear
heard
you, but it's really muted. It's really low.
It might be the problem.
Yeah, well,
That could be your fundamental problem. Your mic volume is too low on all sides. Yeah.
I'm on a Windows box now, so.
Oh, I see what you did. What
It's
a
getting
quitter!
louder.
What a quitter! No, I'm just kidding.
It is getting louder.
All right, so we figured it out by killing that fundamental process. Let's see. Can I tune it? Oh, baby.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
A little bit. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm doing my best. So, I'm a sysadmin. I've been in IT.
I am shocked by the fact you're a sysadmin and your audio is so bad.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm
Oh, you know
trying.
what? You know what it is, Michael. You're on the wrong mic. Michael is on the wrong mic. You're very roomy. It's like we're hearing you off of a cell phone that's across the room right now. You're on the wrong mic. I can almost guarantee it.
Like maybe the mic off your webcam or something.
Yeah, I bet that's it. I bet that's what it is. I'm pretty confident about it.
How's that?
Aha! Yes! Was that what it was?
Indeed, it was. So I do this all day, every day, and for some reason, I've never done this on Discord.
Ah, you're good, man. You're good. You got it. You sound great now. Go ahead.
Excellent. So yeah, I've got a G90, and I was starting with FT8 using WSJTX on a Mac. I've also tried it now on a Linux box as well as on Windows, and for some reason, every time WSJTX tries to transmit, I'm getting 0 power on my G90.
Do you have it in digital mode?
I do. So I'm using it in 10 meter at the moment, and I'm using the USB digital mode.
Can you guarantee that the audio is coming out from the computer to the radio?
So I've double checked that a couple times.
Oh, we lost you. Let's wait 1 second to hear if he comes back. It doesn't. I'm not there yet. I'm not there that it's a DigiRig problem. He's not back yet. We lost him.
I'm going to give the same advice I gave on the last one. Do a factory reset on your radio.
On the G.
No, that's not the solution.
That's kind of weird.
Mike, who's the IT guy here?
Doesn't matter.
I am.
So the G90 is kind of weird, right? So I don't know that I would necessarily go down that route. Although you lose nothing from it because generally nobody loads anything into storage for the G90. So if you factory reset it, it's not a big deal. I would, so as always, when you start troubleshooting something, you try and go down the line. So it sounds like we're at that last quarter mile, right, to see what the radio does with it. So hold on before I'm done. So outside of the DigiRig, there is, the dongle that anything outbound of that speaker wise into your radio, you could connect a speaker to it. And if you can connect a speaker to it and you can hear WSJTS noises coming out of it, you're piping audio correctly. You could use earbuds, you can use whatever you want to test that. I've done this before. And that gives you a clear indication of where the failure point is. Once you define that, then okay. Now, if it is actually the G90, then doing the factory reset might not be a problem. But let's go for the comment. Go ahead, comment.
I don't know if I'm remembering this right, but isn't the G90 the exception to the rule where you've got to put on quite a lot of AGC? Everybody thinks you don't have to have any, but the G90 is the other way round.
It just reads it out differently. So you want to balance your AGC to be around 100 at all times. So it's kind of
I was just remembering that in case somebody told him to, you no AGC, and of course the G90 is the exception, isn't it? So
a little, well, in the sense that we normally expect as far as the readout, yeah, it is different. Yeah, I hear what you're saying though.
Does the G90, is it set up like the AC where it has like a digital gain?
A digital gain. I don't know what that means.
It does have a line in volume. A digital gain, I would think, would be equivalent to like your line in volume. And I believe there is a line in volume, or there used to be on some of the other firmware.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And then I think the G90 should have a ALC, so then you could see if you actually even, if it's hitting the ALC meter and rising a bit.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
I would test everything to the radio before I would start mucking around with that radio personally.
And the Mini Den 8 that you're using, is it one that was specified for the G90?
Well, we lost him. It looks like maybe he's restarting.
Comment.
He did the old IT restart. Go ahead, comment. Go ahead, comment. All right. Well, we lost.
Yeah, sorry, messing with the push to talk. I'm of the opinion of just try to reset the radio. I use DigiRig and our G90 a lot to pull weather when we were offshore through Vara, and I would have that same problem just randomly. And I would just literally factory reset my radio on the boat, and then all of a sudden it would work. It's really fluky like that. When it works, and sometimes it don't like to work. And I never figured out why.
You know what? Now I'm kind of coming over to Tim's side. Tim said, go ahead and do a factory reset. The fact, I think he said pretty clearly that he has tried multiple different types of computers and they all have the same problem. That might be a good indicator that you should just factory reset it. Yeah. Try that.
Yeah, it's wild like that. It just, like I said, one day I would download weather. I'd go on the next day, change no settings, Windows box, and then it just no out. Try again 2 hours later. Oh, I got out and I hit the station. It was weird.
Make sure you guys can see all this. There's too much stuff going on, so hold on. Let me shrink this down a little bit. I realize that I have my screen sized for like what I can see on my 4K monitors, but a lot of you guys can't see what I'm doing. Thanks for everybody who's like, "Hey Josh, your screens are like tiny." So sorry about that. One thing I can say is I guess I have good eyes, so I appreciate that about my genealogy.
Hey Josh, break channel.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, on topic with hams helping hams. This is Ziggy, by the way. I'm doing a thing where I'm asking all the newish hams out there that are having issues with their antennas that they may have purchased. If they're having issues, I'm doing this thing where I'm setting a shipping arrangement up where I'll actually send them a label and they'll send me their antenna, and I'll have to rework it if I have to. And I'm here to show that every antenna can be a great antenna, and I'll make a video and some content about it, and then I'll ship it right back to the ham.
How much time are you actually talking with them before they ship it to you?
Well, I mean, I'm going to get as much information as I can beforehand, obviously, if it's something that we can figure out in the meantime. But, kind of a split hair difference in between, making content and working with the community.
Yeah, the question I have is, the majority of the time, it's not a failure of the antenna. It's almost never a failure of the antenna. So it's usually the operator doesn't know a fundamental piece or they forgot something. So are you helping them like walk through that, or are you just like send me the antenna and let me look at it and then I'll make a video on it, or what's the idea?
Oh, I think it's a stretch to say that every antenna's, on point.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Okay. You said most of the time it's the operator. I'm sorry.
That's what I said.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are some antennas that need some help and some coercing and maybe some modifications, especially these short wire, ununs. There's anyway. I'm just out here trying to show that don't give up if you're having issues, and I just thought it would be a real nice thing if I could, possibly get some antennas, going back and forth and get them modified to where that's easier for that ham to use them.
So pretty much before you throw your antenna away, send it to me first.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's exactly right for sure. Because we all have antennas that we've purchased in the past, and they're just sitting somewhere,
So I'm of two minds of this. I'll be completely honest with you. So
Yeah, that's
one,
fine.
I'll say yeah, go ahead, give people your information. Let go ahead and let you share that. But at the same time, the reason why I've been doing this live stream for years now is to help people fix their own problems, and them shipping you antenna is not going to fix their personal problems. So unless you're going to get on the phone with them or in an email and walk through it, which I've done for many people, to actually help them troubleshoot their lack of knowledge in this case. And yes, I am very confident in saying most of the time, unless it's a mechanical failure where you put an antenna analyzer on it and it's just completely dead, most of the time it's just from the user not taking the time to read the instructions, read the things that come along with it, and understand how the antenna works is the fundamental problem. So I understand what you're doing, and I think it is positive. I think it's positive for the community. But at the same time, it's we've got this now where we're trying to help people get on the air. And so I think that the best thing is to try and exhaust the troubleshooting that they can do, because they're going to learn a lot through that process before we're just just give up and ship it to me, right? That's kind of my opinion.
Right. So, and I agree with you 100%, and I understand how that might sound and come across now. I'm more so after the antennas that they've long already given up on and that aren't deployed in their, in their yard anymore, and that they
is
just
a way better way of selling this, Ziggy.
Okay. Sorry, man.
Way.
You
got
to understand, words don't fall out of my mouth the way that.
Well, I don't know you. I don't know you from Pete.
Typical hams do.
So I mean that
I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And that's why I'm trying to be charitable here, because I hear you saying "Hey, send me your antennas and I'll make a video on it." It's okay, go to Home Depot, make some, get a ham radio book and make some antennas.
I guess I was focused on trying to make this as short as possible, and I skipped a few steps.
I get it. It's okay. Don't be nervous. We're just hanging out. We're all friends. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I'm. So I 100% if people have antennas that they're not using, sure, ship them to Ziggy and he'll make a video about them. I don't know how I feel about that completely now that I'm thinking about it, but I get where you're going, and I
not necessarily a video. I'm not really in it for content. This is just a community thing. Again, I did for sure.
All I know is what you said. That's all I know.
For sure, I'm not great at making videos, but it's more of a community thing at the end of the day for me.
Ziggy, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ziggy spent an hour on the Coffee and Ham radio store or channel, and so we know where he's coming from. He had a whole hour to explain it, so I get where he's coming from. That he didn't. He's trying to be short here.
Well, you don't have to be. You've heard Don, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You don't have to be. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. It's just you have to understand that the wild things we've seen in amateur radio and people trying to do the stuff that they do on YouTube as well as amateur radio. It's yes, of course we want to help the community, but we got to do it in a way it's the goal of all of this should be, let's educate the community. Let's educate people so that they don't need someone to ship them an antenna or back and forth, whatever. I think you get that, though. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think you get what I'm saying, right?
No, yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah, and if I may, what the impression that we got from the 1 hour discussion that was going on is that what Ziggy's really trying to do is he's taking these antennas that are somebody completely gave up on. He's going through and figuring out what's wrong with them, getting them working and operating, and then making a video so that everybody in the community can
see, I love
can
that.
see that. Yeah.
See,
That's where he's coming
Ziggy,
from.
you can say that. It's okay. You got plenty of time, man. I'm not going to take the floor from you. So okay, I love that, because that's fundamentally the issue we have, is that just straight up, I don't have enough time in the day to make the videos for all the people that I help outside of making videos. And there's so many of those where, like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm kicking myself saying, Josh, like, just make a video about this, then you don't have to answer this question again. But it, still, it always happens. It's always the same type of stuff. I get lots of the same questions. So I get where you're coming from. I get it. So thank you for everybody explaining that a little bit differently to me. I appreciate it, because I think that that's a better way to explain it. So yeah, thank you. So Ziggy, how do people contact you? Go ahead, man.
Yeah, just ziggybuilds@gmail. And that's pretty much it. Or yeah, that's probably the best way to do that.
Okay, right on. Cool.
And what type of antennas can you work on or try to diagnose?
Let's just try to keep the shipping under $100.
Okay, because I have a screwdriver antenna that doesn't have a motor anymore. The pinion gear broke, and I can't find one at the RC hobby store.
I gotcha. That kind of falls into a wear and tear and repair kind of category. I'm looking for the weird stuff that somebody went out on a whim and dropped a couple $100 on, and they're really upset with themselves about it. I'm trying to make people feel better about their purchases, and if I have to modify the antenna to make that happen, that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna ship them back.
Yeah,
at no charge to the ham, by the way.
Ziggy, it might help if you gave an example.
Yeah, that might help, because I'm a little, now you're like, no, now I don't want that antenna. So now, Ziggy, help me out here.
Ziggy, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think
buddy.
I can help you with this one. My part in Feds, I've been having a bunch of issues with it. I showed him, sent Ape some photos that he showed on that live stream with Ziggy, and he's like, yeah, that's easily fixable. So it's, just the transformer box, that sort of stuff is, I think, what Ziggy wants to see, is the transformer and how to fix that. Yeah, Ziggy?
Yeah, that's pretty close. I mean, I would love to take a crack at the Tar Heel. I've never worked on one before. And again, I feel as though that this would be working on that Tar Heel would be kind of more of a repair service. I think it would be best if the Tar Heel went to the person that made the device for repair on something like that. I'm more trying to rework something, not fix it completely.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Tio, and maybe I just am remembering it wrong, but didn't he send you a G5 RV to take a look at, or
we
remember that wrong?
We had fun with that, right? And so we were trying to prove that the G5 RV isn't a bad antenna, and and what I found out about it is that when you sweep this thing on a rig expert or whatever, it looks like hot garbage, and the resonant points are way off, and just with a little bit of manual tune, it won't do it automatic. With the auto tuner on board, just with a little touch up with the auto tuner, you can make this thing pretty much dance anywhere you want to.
So you are looking for people to send you antennas for you to do kind of a full diagnostics on? Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
I think rework or modification would be better.
What kind of modifications do you do?
Okay, so like if we have to impedance change the transformer, I can do that. If we have to modify the the unun or the balun or whatever, drop it in a different box because it doesn't deploy properly, or if we need to change out the radiating element to maybe something completely different, like a telescopic piece, just a like a total transformation, kind of like a pimp my antenna kind of thing.
Give me an example of when you swapped out a telescopic before. What's a
great question. So there are there are some 5-to-1s out there in the wild that are marketed as kind of like tactical deployment type stuff, and they come with that antenna that is like tent pole, where it collapses and it pulls back onto itself, and it's so that radiating element, that's a fixed length, right? And so you're kind of only dependent on like whatever your feed line's going to do as far as your transformation and whatever your radial ground is, and then the slight other factors about your environment. The one that I'm talking about in particular, we just swapped out the radiating element that's of a fixed length to one that's telescopic, and now the whole world of the HF band has been opened up to this antenna, just because we're using an easily modifiable radiating element now instead of a fixed one.
I have a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, comment. Go ahead, comment.
Okay. I was going to say that not all screwdriver manufacturers are still in business. So I picked up at Hamcon Zion a used High Sierra antenna. So I've been looking for a motor, but I'm going to see what these screwdriver motors that I got off eBay will do. But that's the only comment I have. It's like, you mentioned Tar Heel, and they're still in business. And if I take a non-Tar Heel screwdriver antenna, I'm pretty sure they're just going to say throw it away and buy one of our Tar Heels, because I believe that they don't work on other manufacturers' antennas unless that's changed.
I don't know that Ziggy was assuming a particular brand. I think he just said Tar Heel because that's
if I
a
said
well-known screwdriver. But yeah. Go ahead, Ziggy. I don't want to speak.
Yeah, no, totally. That just fell out of my mouth. That's kind of like Anderson. I mean, it's just we all seem to associate a top company with a typical format. So no, I apologize for that. It was not. I know almost nothing about screwdriver antennas, so almost zero experience. In fact, I was given an ATOS 120 and I immediately gave it away.
Okay, well, there you go. We got the word out.
Not a mobile quarter wave kind of guy.
All right. Anyone else out there with let's get you on the air questions. We want you to be radio active, so go ahead if you got them. Otherwise, I'm going to start saying hi to my YouTube friends. Anybody?
Hey, I have a quick question.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So I've had my general for about a year, and I've been doing SWLing and SDR for that whole time, and I finally started saving up for a radio, not wanting to dump it all on a credit card. So I plan on buying a G90. I have a power supply already. My problem is I want to build an end-fed random wire, which is going to cost me more money. I have to buy a lightning arrestor to get in the house. I have to buy either a spool of coax and crimp connectors and get it all into the house. That's just going to take me more time. I'm curious, I should be able to have my radio in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Should I just build a quick 20-meter dipole and get on the air while I save up for the rest of that? How do I get on the air quicker than having to continue to save to buy all these extra little components to get everything fed into my house?
Comment.
Well, I mean, that's the reality of amateur radio to a certain degree. If I don't want anybody to somebody made a really good YouTube comment that nothing in amateur radio is free. And the more I thought about that statement, I was like, wow, that's like extremely based. You can spend money to sideline things of amateur radio. That's certainly not free. For the things that you don't spend money on, you're exchanging time in the form of your labor or you're learning something. That's certainly not free because your time could be better spent at any job that you might be doing, right? So the reality of it is that, yeah, you got to work through this, man. You got to work through doing all this stuff. So how do we speed that up a little bit is what you're asking. So first question, before I go to a comment, there's probably multiple comments, but first comment is Do you actually live in an area that gets lightning? That should be one we should probably talk about, right?
Yeah, so I live in central Wyoming. It was lightning today.
Oh,
We
okay.
get freak wind storms, 80 miles an hour out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I want to build the end wave random wire. I want to bring it into the house properly. I want to buy the lightning arresters. I want to get it all done properly. But kind of thinking as if I can get my G90 in 2 weeks, I already have my power supply. Can I set up a portable in my back lawn to play with and get on the air? In that meantime, while I'm setting this all up, would just like a 20-meter dipole be great as I'm, working through the process of, building the shack and putting it all in,
Yeah. So the answer to your question is yes. Build a monoband dipole is a great way to get on the air, and you'll learn a lot from doing it. It doesn't sideline your lightning arrestor issue, though. So you still need a lightning arrestor in that case, because that's just going to get us struck as easily as something else. Statistically, maybe not as prominently getting struck, but you still can. You still can, right? So
the idea with the dipole is just something that I can hook up on my garage, play with it for the weekend, take it down.
Okay.
Not as a permanent solution.
Oh, heck
The
yeah.
permanent solution is bringing it into my home. The dipole's kind of. I have a couple trees. I can string up wire between them pretty quick in 10 minutes. Get on the air as I'm saving up money, building the antennas, running the coax, etc.
Yeah, so I started out that way. I built a monoband dipole, and I would push it up in the air when I was ready with a push-up mast kind of thing that I think was a modified paint pole kind of deal to get up on the air. And yeah, that's great. Yeah, do that for sure. Of course, pay attention to your weather surroundings for safety and all that other stuff. But yeah, do it. Do it. What do I always say is like the more time we're talking about what you should do is time that you haven't spent to just do it, because you've got the wherewithal. You can build a dipole. Everybody can build a dipole. They're super simple. And yeah, you can just make it as simple as like the coax goes that way with the shield and the tip goes that way with the center pin. And that's all there is to it. You could get a bulkhead connector if you want, but you don't have to, right? And you can get on the air as quickly as that. You can be on 20 meters. 20 meters is still active right now. It is 8:27 p.m. my time in Pacific. So if you're anywhere east of me, like in Wyoming, you'd probably still be making some kind of contacts right now.
I've had 15 meters open until 1 in the morning.
Really? That's impressive. All right.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of comments. Mike, I heard you second. So who was the first one that said comment? I didn't see who your name was. Go ahead.
I think that was me. That's exactly what I did.
Alan, bump your audio if you can. Can you bump your output? I'm gonna go to Mike. Alan, go ahead and bump your audio. You're really low. Go ahead, Mike, and then we'll come back to Alan. Now that I see your name, I'll come back to you.
Right, just a point of order that lightning arresters did not prevent you being struck by lightning or make your equipment survive that.
That's true. That's true.
What it's mainly for is to prevent static buildup on your antenna system, which if you've got a dipole is a damn good idea. But just bear in mind, if there's a storm, you still need to unplug that damn thing and get as far away from it as possible.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. Good point.
Do remember that.
Yeah.
Because it's a lightning arrestor. I'll be safe when your house is burning down around you. So just remember that it is really there to prevent the static buildup during a storm building up on your antenna, and then the first time you unplug it after the storm, you get a giant arc out the back of the aerial and it blows your radio up. That's what the lightning arresters to prevent.
Yeah.
Rather than preventing your aerial system being damaged during a strike, which nothing can prevent.
So obviously, Mike,
against.
what do we say, Mike? Unplug your coax, then what do? We put it in a mason jar, right, Mike?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Keep it safe. Yeah.
Do not
keep yourself safe.
The mason jar does nothing. The jar does nothing. Don't listen to any of the wives' tales. The jar does nothing. I have a switched antenna system that every one of my switches goes to ground. That goes to a actual, ground spike, a proper ground spike. And that's what I do is I will home all of my antennas. So you can't all do this, but with a step IR, I can. I home the antenna and then I will bring everything to ground. And that's generally how I deal with it.
Yeah, I have a grounding rod already at the back of my house that my mains goes to. So
Okay.
my plan was to run the random wire to, like the eave of my house and the other end into a tree, bring it down to that, plastic box, lightning arrestor, bond it to the grounding rod, and then bring it into the house. My plan was to always keep my radio unplugged when it's not in use anyway. I guess it was just more of an understanding of preventing that static, like you were saying, coming into the home.
Well, yeah, you should definitely deal with static because of the exact same thing of like actually you can hurt a radio as fast with static versus a direct lightning strike. Sure, that's going to be more catastrophic, but even a lightning strike down the street can blow your radio up, right? Like so it's, keep that in mind. You definitely do have to do all those things though.
Yeah, and you can kill a antenna analyzer too, because I've done it with static. And it doesn't even have to be, basically in that case, I had not had that particular antenna connected to anything for probably six months or so. And I decided I'd go out and make sure the SWR was okay, and I connected it, and that was it. Just killed that antenna analyzer. So in that case, what you actually are supposed to do is short the center pin to the outside deal to bleed off the static, or connect it to a lightning arrestor. Word of warning.
Sounds good. Yeah, so that was pretty much just the base, the base question. As I'm working on my, my home antenna system, is the dipole that I can just string up temporary on the weekends, have some fun, get on the radio, get used to making calls, and then, continue my process to actually do it properly instead of having to wait, an extra 3 months till I save to get it done.
And you know what? If you do that, if you set it up out in your backyard and get all that going, you'll be that much better prepared to do POTA later.
That's actually what got me back interested in ham again and actually getting out to parks. So that was kind of my other is, should I just build a POTA antenna and
yeah,
and work on my home antenna?
Practicing in the backyard is a great way to go. You learn how to set everything up, how to take it down.
That's what I did.
And you'll write down what you're doing so that you have that checklist. When you're leaving the house, you go through the checklist, make sure you didn't forget anything.
That's what I did last night.
All right. I'm gonna take a break here. We're gonna go down the list of saying hi.
Did Alan get his audio bumped up? He had a comment.
Oh, that's right. Alan, are you back?
Yeah. I'll just say real quick that I would suggest doing that. I did the same thing. I had a pair of speaker wire dipoles up for a couple of months, and then it basically just until I got tired of setting everything up, plugging it in, and on the back patio, that I pulled the trigger on getting a proper going inside the house setup. But it worked great. I would definitely recommend it. If that's the best you got in the meantime.
Well, thanks. I appreciate the help, guys.
Whereabouts are you in Wyoming?
Riverton, Central Wyoming, about 2 hours from Yellowstone.
Oh, okay. Are you a general or extra?
I'm a general for the last year, and then I plan to study for my extra this winter when it starts slowing down.
Okay, yeah. I know there's the Wyoming Cowboy Net. There's the Utah Beehive Net, Farm Net. So there's nets you can check into if you want to do that. And there's a lot of POTA that you can get out here too. I'm in Utah.
I'll check it out for sure.
And Jason and the gang are out there at Yellowstone right now.
Yeah, I'm jealous, man. I'd love to be just putting down the miles and doing the ham radio thing. That sounds super fun, but sadly, I still have to work. All right, so let's go down the list. Let's say to some of our YouTube friends who are here in the chat with us. Andrew, the Broke Ham. So we saw him chatting with us earlier and on the YouTube with ICOM and Ray. How's it going, man? What are you up to?
Oh, it's going good. I just got a new radio. Got a new FTDX10. I'm loving it so far.
That's not a broke hams radio. That's
No, it's
that's
not.
a
I actually
decent-
wrote you an email about it for the podcast.
Oh, right
That
on,
is-
man.
Yeah. I got my extra, so my wife said I'm allowed to get one expensive radio. Basically, no.
I like it. I like
no
it.
budget. Yeah.
I
So.
like it.
And then I just put my HOA buster up today, so I'm
Okay.
playing with that. And then I've just been range testing my mesh-tastic stuff and trying to build that out. So where I'm at is kind of a dead zone of meshes, so I'm trying to just flush it out for me and my friends and family to use.
Right on. Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. All right,
Yeah, thank you.
next is Dawn. Dawn, you've been Oh, wait. Oh, man, I got a big contact coming in. Hold on. Where's this guy? What is this? HA. Okay, we're going to this guy directly. No more talking. What island is this? What is this? HA7WFF. Hungary is the South Island off of Africa? What is this?
No, not Hungary is a country in Europe.
No, I know, but he comes up as HA, so DXCC. So I don't understand what's happening right now. Because he's saying he is.
I think somebody's being fishy because I saw somebody being Oceania and they were in California.
I mean, I'll take a Hungary contact regardless, but oh
Yeah.
boy, 20 just opened up big time. Holy crap. It's very long right now, everybody. Oh my goodness.
All right, which direction's your beam pointing?
I am probably at 50 degrees.
So, yeah, but are you pointing, because I don't know where that is. Is that east or west?
Well, 50 degrees on a cardinal system, so that would be northeast. Northeast from
Yeah,
my
I was wondering
location in California.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going the other direction. So
No, I'm not even. Like he's showing up right here, which means I should point down a
Right.
little bit. I might do that. If he's truly there, then we should be able to wrap up this contact. So I'm pointing now
Well,
down.
you're also seeing an F5, right? So that's France. So it's not.
No, it's
that
because
much
I'm
further.
coming up. I'm coming up over the. Well, I mean, you can see all those purple lines, but this guy is like way down here. I don't even know what's down there. I don't know that anything's down there. So we'll see all of a sudden if I
No.
lose all signal, it's because of that.
So did you look up his
Oh, see, it's already
grid
dropping out.
square?
Oh yeah, he gave up. Wait, maybe not. No, yeah, he gave up. Okay, so yeah, he's in Hungary proper. So he's not reporting his grid square correctly.
Okay, yeah, because KK07 doesn't make sense to me, but
All right, we'll go a little bit. We're going a little bit more north here, bud. All right, here we go. Here we go with the. Anyway, Don, sorry to take your moment away there. Go ahead.
no, that was interesting.
Josh, I have to interrupt for a second. There was a last minute addition right before dawn.
Well, Don's already talking, so let's go ahead.
Yeah,
and
I just want to let you know.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this week I dropped 2 videos. I dropped both of them on my property. One where I was the one that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and I finally got it all edited and put up there with the Antenna Genius and that stuff. And then this last one, or about an hour or two later, I guess, I dropped the "Let's Take a Ride in the Golf Cart" video.
Mm-hmm.
And I got in my new golf cart and toured the property and shot some video while I was doing it to show people where things are and kind of what I'm planning and talk through some of the things. And apparently Jody didn't listen all the way to the end because I gave him a shout out because last week in the after chat, Jody was like, "Oh, you need a shed? Well, here, why don't you look at this company and this company?" And I could not believe every single one of those ones he suggested were less than 100 miles from where I live.
Oh, nice.
And I went and priced one of them out, and like it's free delivery because I'm less than 100 miles.
Oh,
from
that's
them.
sweet. All right.
Yeah, the only thing is right now, because of the job situation, I am going to wait a little bit, maybe this winter, when things settle down a little bit, I'll go ahead and order one because they're about $13,000 delivered. And that doesn't include everything, but it will be wired for electric and all of that kind of stuff. But then I have to get an electrician out to actually hook it up. And, so there's a number of things I'll have to go through. And hopefully I can video that stuff and y'all can see what it's like to drop a shed and all of that kind of stuff.
Right on.
Unfortunately, I didn't think about, filming the buying of the golf cart, but that's not really a ham radio thing.
Do you
That was
roll
just
around? Do you roll around with when you're in your golf cart? You got a gun on you? You got a little snake shot in the revolver, or you?
I can. I just have. I mean, there's a guy that's out here somewhere. I mean, every evening he is firing. I can hear him. Target practice. So
I love it, bud. I love
I'm
it.
pretty sure. Well, I mean, like when living in that urban environment, I never heard fireworks. And then, I'm sitting here on July 4th, and I mean, for days afterwards, there were people that had light shows going all around me. The rockets were bursting in air everywhere.
Right,
So,
right.
and so yeah, it's just a different world out here, and I'm loving it.
All right, right on. Oh, super cool. All right, well, thanks for sharing that. And yeah, I would be rolling around my golf cart. I have a little roof rack on the back, put my rifles and my shotties on there. Oh, that'd be sweet. All right, Andrew. No, we got Andrew. James, Country Ham Radio. How's it going? Or Country James Ham Radio. Sorry for screwing up your name. Go ahead, man. What's up?
Hey, Josh, how's it going? Not a whole lot, man. Went out and did some POTA today for Support Your Parks weekend. Shot a little video of that, and gonna do some editing with that and get that video out. I mostly do POTA, so I got my general license in January 17th, 2024, and I work on the road, so the parks are my QTH.
Oh, I love it, man. I love that. Well, so let me ask you a question. What radio do you generally run for your POTA, and what antenna do you use?
Oh, we lost him. He does have internet issues sometimes.
Okay, all right. I'm curious, somebody who's like devoted to the POTA life, like what their go-to radio and antenna setup is. So if he comes back, feel free to dive in there. Let's
He's
talk
back.
about it.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get the push to the talk and hit the hang up button there.
No problem, man.
Hey, I use the Icon 7300. It's the first HF radio I got, and I use an Alpha Hextana that one is a V shape with telescopic dipoles. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's
The
similar
Hextana?
to yeah, the Hextana.
Yep.
I had real good results from it. I have a MFJ MFED half wave, and I like the Alpha Hextana a whole lot better.
All right, right on. Yeah, I did a review of that antenna. It's pretty cool, actually. Lots of different setup configurations you can do with it, which is sweet. So right on, man. Cool. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, man, thanks for having me here.
All right, next is Frank. It's time, man. What's going on, dude?
Well, I was starting to get worried that you had already gone through the YouTubers because I don't know if you saw my original message towards the end of your main live stream. I just got back from a POTA activation.
Oh, all right.
Because, it's Support Your Parks week, and I'm POTA. You got to get out and support your park.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Go
you
ahead.
haven't done it yet.
You
Okay.
continue.
You have 24
Well,
hours.
I can hunt. I can hunt. I'll
There
do
you
some
go.
hunting, but man, this is a bad weekend. Go ahead, man. What's going on?
Today was rough. It was interesting, but it was rough. I heavy QSB throughout the whole day, but I got what is his name? Fox 5 Yankee Papa India or Papa Yankee India, that very infamous France station that everybody gets.
Okay.
He was like a 4 or 5 for me today, but I was cheating. I was on the edge of the San Francisco Bay, so I had that water advantage for POTA contacts. But that was about it for today. Hopefully, so Tuesday nights have expanded to Thursday nights as well, as I've mentioned a couple times here. And Tim, I'm sorry for stealing the thunder again. But so we're Tuesdays and Thursdays now for videos going into Ham Radio Clubhouse and then Coffee and Ham Radios. I'm hoping to have a video out Thursday, and I hope the audio is 100 times better than this last week's video. I don't know what went wrong. I had to, Josh, you can understand this one.
Sure.
I refilmed a video 3 times to get the audio right.
Only 3?
Only 3.
Okay.
And even then, the video was still hot garbage for the audio. Absolute hot garbage. Like, I almost want to take it back down, but I'm like, it's a good video, and it's a review video that I promised the Coffee and Ham Radio crew I'd do. So, I'm like, do I try and redo it, or what? So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, the audio is hot garbage. The intro is soft. My intro part is soft, and the intro video is loud, and the rest of the video is soft and garbly, and then my outro is ear blasting loud if you don't catch it to turn it down in time. And so I do apologize for those that have watched it or will watch it. It's a hot garbage video. Other than that, so I'm having a video this coming Thursday. Hopefully this coming Thursday we will have the NorCal SwapNet back on the live stream. This past week, I had an emergency that I had to take over for something else that I couldn't do anything else for, and I couldn't get the live stream done. And this coming Friday is a CQ Chit Chat, and I have to reach out to a couple people, but I think it's going to be an interesting one that a lot of people will absolutely like. And with that, I've done enough talking. Thanks for letting us have our time. Thanks for letting us have our time in here, because I do see a YouTube comment, how's this helping new hams? Well, we're sharing our channels so that we can help hams in different ways, because all of us have our own different views on them. Anyway, I'm going to drop my link, and you can take it down the list.
All right, man. There you go. All right, next is Tim. How's it going, Tim? What's been going on?
I don't. It's going pretty good. I don't know how I can follow that.
Are you not doing enough things?
Yeah, I think Frank was talking about Fox 5 Papa Yankee India.
I think Quentin Tarantino talked about that.
Yeah.
It's the Fox Force
so,
5. Right?
I went out and I think I activated 8 parks today.
Oh, good for you, man. That's awesome.
And I'm going to do a 3 for tomorrow. So my wife's already given me the permission to do that.
Right on.
2 days in a row of being gone. She's actually happy about that. So there you go. Yay, Poda. And spoke to a few people over the air today. Country James, I remember he had a QSO with him. Had one with Joe Brett and Tim, K0 SSD. Got half a QSO with him today, but it was all good. He contacted me on the air. I got him back on Discord. So there you go. So just staying busy, and hopefully we'll have a video ready for this week, either Tuesday or Thursday night.
Well, good, man. Keep going. And everybody watching, like, even if you're new with YouTube, this is not a ham radio thing. This is a YouTube thing. The trick for YouTube is always be posting. It doesn't matter. I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm very consistent in my... Who was I talking to? I bumped into somebody who's like, yeah, I'm getting into YouTube. And I'm like, oh, that's great. What's your schedule like? Because I always ask that. And they're like, oh, I'm like once a month. That will, I mean, if your videos are like super high production value, like really, really intense, and you've got that like dialed in with the super high attention factor, once a month might work. Like we're talking, oh my gosh, the one that the kids all watch, the engineer guy.
Mark Rober.
Mark Rober. Mark Rober can drop once a month, and he can maintain his levels. Most people can't do that, and he's got a budget that will like fund anything he wants to do. Most average human beings cannot do that. So the trick is, if I could push you once a week is the trick. Be posting once a week.
Yeah, that's I try to do once a week unless something comes up. But that's part of the reason, these doing the Tuesday nights and then pushing it out to Thursday nights now. We're just getting so much content and people wanting to do that. And
yeah,
by all means, I mean, most hams are already going to invest on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights in, the clubhouse and car. What's another hour or so beforehand. And pretty soon we'll be doing this on Saturday night too. Saturday night for us, Saturday afternoon for you, Josh.
yeah.
Tim, don't. No, we no. That's just. I hope one day we get there. And Tim, I did try listening for you on POTA because I did see you spotted, but no copy in California today.
I don't want to go down. No, sorry. Go ahead. Finish it up. Finish up your thought, and then I'll make a comment.
No, I was gonna say I did get a few California stations, but not a whole lot today.
So there's this thing called the general store concept. So back when California went through the gold rush, the people who profited the most were those that were running the general store, the ones that were selling the shovels and the picks and the sluice boxes and the pans. And there are a ton of people on YouTube that will tell you how to be successful on YouTube. There you go. I don't know if this, I haven't watched Lon. I don't know if he's good or not. I'm not saying that he's necessarily this particular generalization I'm about to use, but yeah, subscriber count doesn't matter. It's never mattered that much for probably a decade now. The only thing that subscribers tell you is if you have a good community, your community's strong. So thank you, by the way, for 350,000 subscribers. Thank you for that. That is, to me, an indicator that people want to come back to watch what I'm doing. The big problem is that YouTube, even if you subscribe to me, they will not send you my videos. I don't know if you knew this. It follows your viewing trends. It always does. It has been for years now at this point. So if you haven't done this and you really do appreciate the videos I post, click the, obviously subscribe. Thank you for that. But click the little bell icon that tells you that I posted a video. That still doesn't guarantee that you're going to see my videos. Because if you're just on a hot trend of, looking at used cars and people talking about all that stuff that goes into the used car world, you're not going to see ham radio videos. That's just the reality of it. The trick always, though, regardless of any of that, what the algorithm does to you, which it does a lot, is just post consistently. Like, just post consistently. If you can do it once a month, once a week, that's going to be the best for you. So there's that. That's the reality of it.
Lon has some pretty good views on how things work.
I think
he has.
I think Lon has a lot of opinions, and I think more often than not they work out. But I don't know that that's something that you necessarily base everything off of. I think that if you spent, and this actually, I should take a second moment here. If you're new to making videos, I know it's really tempting to get focused on people like telling you the secrets of the algorithm and unlocking blah, blah, blah. It is three fundamental things. Make a good video, make a good title, make a good thumbnail. If you're not doing those three things, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
And make
matter.
sure you have good sound.
And make sure your audio is good. It doesn't matter. This like hot trend of I'm going to min-max YouTube and figure out the hacks and the secrets and all that stuff, it might work in the short term. But as someone who's been around here for more than a decade, the consistency is always make good content. If you can't figure out the complexities of the YouTube algorithm, or you're spending an exorbitant time on the YouTube algorithm, you should probably just focus more on your content. Always focus more on your content. That's all that matters. Truly, it's all that matters. So anyway, there's that comment on that.
I have a quick question, actually, and then we'll keep going, I guess, with the list.
Sure.
I was told once, and Josh, please be honest with me.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to do the thumbnail before you even think of doing the video.
No, because half of the time the thumbnail is based off of the images from the video, the things that you captured in the B-roll from the video. No, I've never ever made the thumbnail first and then made the video. Maybe those
some people told me make the thumbnail first and then do the video.
Yeah, maybe those are people who are making like mainstream normie content, like that is like talking about the Kardashians or what food is trending, or Like, guys, remember, we're a super niche hobby. We're like the niche of the nichest hobby you could be in. And we're competing with a ton of sharks that are all technically very competent. So your thumbnail should be very clean, very crisp, very clear, exactly what you're talking about. And it doesn't matter when you make it. It doesn't matter. Do the best thumbnail you can. I don't care how you do it. Just do the best thumbnail you can that explains what you're talking about. That's the most important thing. So there you go. All right.
All right.
Next is the one, the only Mike K8MRD. How's it going, man?
Who sucks at all three of those things?
No, man, your thumbnails are great. Well, no, because you know what? Look, it doesn't see, this is a very important point. Remember, when you're on a phone, some of those thumbnails are like this big. I'm crushing your head. This big. You just need to make it legible at that size, that they understand what the content is. That's the
so
biggest
when I
thing.
make my thumbnails,
And
I
the
use
text is huge. It works perfectly.
Yeah.
It works perfectly for that purpose. 100%.
I use Canva. Somebody just put it a Kids in the Hall reference. That's great. I'm crushing your head.
That's exact. You got it. You got it. You got it.
So I always zoom out so I see the image really small and see if I can still see it. So I at least have that going for me.
100%. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So hi, what were we talking about?
We're talking about you, buddy. It's your time to shine
Oh,
as
I
a
don't like
bright,
talking about
shining
me.
star.
Right. Speaking of bright shining stars.
Yes, buddy. Yes.
Have you heard the good word about the doublet antenna
Yes,
from snow cones?
I have. So we should talk about that because I think he's definitely in the chat. I think he's actually in the. He's in the
Dude,
chat.
he and I have been text chatting like this whole time.
Yeah. So here's the great thing is that he makes a really good antenna, and then I'm like, dude, you got to start mass producing this. If I talk about this thing, people are gonna blow you up. Like, how are you gonna deal with this? Like, what are you gonna do, right? And like, I don't know what like. We're literally having this conversation live right now. Mike Artie's probably had this conversation with him. I've had this conversation with him. So a doublet is, imagine, if you will, collectively, Mike's on this, or not Mike. No, we're good. Anyway, so you have a dipole, but instead of it ending into coax that goes down the line, it just is two wires, and they just are perfectly suspended and separate. It's a completely
Isn't it just so beautiful?
Yeah, it's
when
beautiful.
it's up.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's fundamentally the old school of ham radio because at some point the military said, no, we got to coax all these things and we got to, pop a hole in the wall and feed coax through it, which works really well in lots of situations for convenience. But if you're portable, there's no reason not to use a balanced feed line. There isn't. There's no reason. And a doublet is great because it's multi-banded for very little loss. And in fact, I don't even know that there's any loss aside from what is in the feed line of the tuner connected that whole thing. But no, it's great. It's great. Every time I've deployed it in every situation, this doublet has been fantastic. Mike, share your thoughts.
Yeah. So I finally, he sent it to me. I've had it for probably a month now, maybe.
I've had two now, but yes, continue.
Mr. Flex in here.
This is not a competition. I'm just saying they're good. I'm saying they're good. I agree with you.
I finally got a chance to take it out on Wednesday. And it's just it's just awesome. It's so beautiful. It is big.
Yeah,
I mean it's
big.
90 feet long.
It's a big one.
But I went to Huntsville State Park is closed again because of the hurricane. There's damage there. So on Tuesday, Matt and I were DMing each other, and I'm like, I'm finally gonna get out. And then Wednesday, I got out and I drove to Huntsville State Park, and it's freaking closed. I'm like, God damn it! So I'm like, you know what? Screw. I was determined to play radio on Wednesday, so I drove. The next closest parks are all like an hour. So I drove an hour east to Lake Livingston State Park, which is right on this beautiful, beautiful lake. And finally got to. I mean, I've never even deployed it. I you know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I took it out and unraveled it and made the video and. I started off on. Well, I actually started off on 10 meters. Made a couple FT8 contacts, but then I went down to 40 meters, which I'm hardly ever on because it hasn't been open during the day lately. And it was probably about 4 p.m. I got on sideband, and in like 8 minutes I got 10 contacts on 40 meters. A lot of NVIS, like a lot of like real. I got Dallas and just kind of close in. Within. I mean, Dallas is only 160 miles roughly from me, and then it kind of just died on 40 for me. Then I went on 20, and the floodgates just opened up. Huge pile up. I ended up working Matt, I think, on 3 different bands. I think I got him on 20, 17, and 15. So I made, I don't know. I mean, I only made like 120 contacts in that activation, but I was only on the air for a couple hours. But 40, 20, 17, and 15. I got Australia on 15 meters. Freaking amazing. I got a couple other. I think I got Chile, Italy, some other European country, like all over the U.S. I mean, if I'd have stayed on longer, I probably just would have worked all 50 states. Maybe not Alaska, and Hawaii. But like the spread was just incredible, absolutely incredible, and they were good signals too. Like it hears very well and it gets out very well. So. I'm absolutely jonesing to get out with it again. I think I'm going to go out tomorrow. Yes, hang on. I didn't realize it was Support Your Parks weekend. So
hey,
I did go out today. I did go out today. I did some FT8 in the car at the twofer down the street from my house. But I think I might have to go back out tomorrow. What's the comment?
Oh, I just wanted to say that once you start hitting multiple wavelengths, you start getting gain too on wire antennas. So you're looking at on 10 through 15, you're getting about a hex beam amount of gain.
Well, you're getting lobes. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting gains in lobes. It's not directional, really. You can control it, I guess, but.
Hang on.
So while we're waiting, Mike, you're really trying to have me message Matt and be like, Matt, send me an antenna, because.
That's dude. I mean, it's an awesome antenna. He said he's selling them on the Ham Radio Crash Course, one of the channels. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm concerned about the deluge of people that are going to start asking for it. I gotta be.
What happens?
So how are you tuning it? What are you using for tuning?
So I used the 7300 going into the MFJ 939 tuner, and then another. So I'm just using 2 patch leads of Messi and Poloni Ultraflex 7 Sahara going into the 4-to-1 Balun, and up she goes. And inverted V with the spider beam mast up. I didn't fully extend the mast because he said like 7 to 10 meters is kind of optimal height for that antenna. So I didn't. I left like the very top section stuffed into the bottom section for more rigidity, and then I think I left the last section inside of it. So that's probably about 10 meters up. And dude, it's built very well. The orange high vis wire, the paracord that he uses to guide the radiating elements into the ground.
Yep.
The quality of the 3D prints for the winder and everything. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's very well done. I just know that we're gonna start talking about it. And are we ready?
I was kind of skeptical. I mean, it did take me a little longer to set up. But I mean, I'm filming too and trying to get all different angles and stuff, so that takes a little bit longer. But the way I had probably 15 minutes to set up. But he's got a freaking tripod with a mast with a tripod, so it takes him like 5 minutes. He was sending me pictures earlier. So I'm like, well, crap, I can just throw my mast in my drive-on mast holder thing.
Yes.
Instead of guying it, because it's really, I mean, it's 2 bits of coax and you I mean, you got almost 100 feet of, well, you got 120 feet of wire to unwind because 30 feet of ladder line and then 45 feet each leg of the dipole, I guess you'd call it. But dude, I was geeked, man. I was really, really geeked.
It's a lot of fun. I ran that all weekend during field day, and we ran it also at the HRCC campout. And it's just great. It's just a good antenna. You do have to be outside. I would say you should be outside. Should be relatively free of metallic objects, right? All the same things that you'd say with ladder line, because it's susceptible of being in close proximity to metal. But if you can achieve that, for most of the POTA guys, it's a great option, and it's cheap. You can build them on your own. Like, by the way, the doublet has been around forever. This is not a secret.
Oh, yeah.
This is not like some ham radio thing that we've like undug here and we're like, oh, look at what we found. Like, no, it's been around for a long time. So you should explore this if you have the capability, but you need a tuner. You need a radio. You need a proper antenna tuner to do it. So
yeah, your internal one's not going to do it.
It will not do it on the internal tuner. Cannot do it.
They're not hard to build.
No, the antenna's not hard to build at all. So for me, I've ran it now twice, 100 watts on my 7300 with the LDG Prol 2, of course, the Prol, and the 705 with the AH705 tuner. The AH705 handled it, no question. Found a match immediately. We were off and running on every band that I ran it on, which was just great. It's all good, and it's again multi-band antenna. It uses the feed line. It uses the elements in the air. It's all a part of the antenna system. Works itself out. It's really good.
Hey Josh.
Yeah.
Matt just dropped a photo in the live stream chat that I think you'll like to bring up on the screen for people so they can visualize a little bit.
Yeah, I got it to tune. He said it was 80 through 6. I got it to tune 160 through 6, and my tuner isn't even really rated for 6 meters.
This is kind of a harder image, I think, to copy over there.
Yeah.
But so you got the Mustang, but then to the right of the Mustang is yellow wire. The yellow wire is the L, and that one's a little droopy on the left side, but that's it. That's the feed line. That's the feed line, I think, going into the Mustang.
Yeah.
So that's an example. It's just it's a really big dipole, and the feed line is something that you have to consider when you're building it all up, is because that's fundamentally a vital part of the antenna system. Let me see.
I just dropped another photo, Josh.
Yeah,
just so you know.
I need one that's like all the way back, I think, so that people can get a full.
He's got better ones than that.
Oh yeah, give me a second.
There's one there's one that he's got from the picnic table, where you can see the ballon and the ladder line and stuff going up.
Yeah, so the ladder line is right there on the left side of the mast, and it's 2 wires. They're just balancedly spaced away from each other to the tuner. But just look at the top. Look at the top sections, like above my head. Those are wires that are pretty wide. They're sloping all the way out. It's not a small antenna. And in fact, when I was setting it up at field day, they were like, "What the hell antenna are you setting up?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a doublet." And they're like, "What's a doublet?" And I'm like, "Well, it's a dipole basically with a balanced feeder, and that lets me do multi-band." And they're like, "Oh, like what can you get out of it?" I'm like, "I don't know. What do you got? Like what band do you want me to operate on? That's the band I can do right now."
Yep.
And that was it. Like it was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Here, I got some good photos for you. I'm gonna drop some good photos here.
All right, drop them good uns. Well, Mike, appreciate you, buddy. And I also have the dual 9-to-1, 49-to-1, which I know we've talked about.
That thing's sweet, man.
I've had it for a little while. I've played around with it a little bit, but I haven't made a video yet. But you know my feeling of the 9-to-1, and so I think this thing lets me actually explore that space, because I'm going to take the same feed line.
Good antenna.
I'm going to take the same feed line, and I've got wire on a reel that I can measure out and I can mark it off, and we're gonna do the whole thing. I'm gonna test it out like 9-to-1 v 49-to-1. What's the
Did
better
you see
performer?
my video on that?
I try not to watch videos if we're looking at the same
Yeah.
product, because it's like
Yeah,
I
I do
don't
the
want
same
that
thing.
to, I don't want that to flavor. Did you do that? Did you do a similar thing?
I mean, I got to do my thing with some links. So
you made it a linked
I mean,
embed?
I did some things.
Okay, I did. I'm not planning to do that.
I won't.
Literally,
I
mine is on.
won't.
I have a reel of copper wire that I can adjust and mark out as I'm doing it.
Oh, that's too much work.
Oh,
Hey, Josh, I dropped photos of the one that you have on field day out. It's the ones that are outside.
Yeah, and Mike just dropped a
no, they're
picture
too close. It's all too close. You guys aren't getting the full spectrum of the antenna in one shot.
I
I don't know if it's a huge antenna.
Well,
yeah, the wires would disappeared.
It's high vis.
Josh, as a fellow photographer and whatnot, Jody and I both agree, taking photos of wire in the air like that, unless you highly edit the photo, it's very hard to do it. It's better to just lay it out on the ground and take a photo.
Well, I'm sorry you were not willing to do the work to go into it. I apologize for that.
Yeah, but yeah, Rob in the UK has been using doublets for over a year.
Oh yeah, Rob's like Team Doublet. I mean, Rob
Yeah.
is the reason. I think partially that this antenna exists is because of Rob in the UK. No, so that's how it packs up. There's the pack up size. So that's exactly how I wind it up. The legs are on each of these sides, and then the feeders in the middle, and you just kind of wrap it all out. It's you can tangle the crap out of it. That's sure, but I've never had a problem. I've not had any problem.
Yeah.
It's great.
I didn't wind it that way.
Oh yeah, that's exactly.
But so I'll be interesting what results you get. Are you just going to do like a 9-to-1 versus 49-to-1 kind of shootout type thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I did one of those. Oh, maybe last year or the year before. And surprisingly, the 9-to-1 was a little better.
What did you do? What was your test medium? Like, what did you use for testing?
I used the Pac-10 of 9-to-1 and then the Pac-10 of 49-to-1.
Was it Whisper or did you?
Yeah, Whisper.
Okay.
Yeah, Whisper. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I forget what I did, but I did a bunch of transmissions and then a bunch of receives, and then I switched out the antenna and did the same thing over again.
Well, I'm not going to ask Mike to redo his, but Josh, when you do that, can you listen to the noise floor difference? Because there is I'm seeing a difference.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll shoot that too. I'll show the difference between the 9-to-1 and the 49-to-1, because literally, if you I have over 100 feet of copper wire that's on this spool, right? That's adjustable, and so the idea is that I'll drop it all down, and I got my 100-meter tape. I will find a measurement spot under 100 feet. Sorry, not meters, 100 feet. That will be a part, likely, I'm guessing we're going to end up around 40 meters, because once you start to get to an 80-meter half wave, it's beyond 100 feet. I need a bigger tape is what I've learned from this. So it's probably going to be more like a 40-meter end fed. But, and here's the fundamentally important part. So an end fed is really easy to tune. You just kind of get it in the wheelhouse, and then you can kind of adjust it. Like I can go to the reel and just adjust it up a little bit, and then we'll get it perfect, right? The random wires, though, are really a bit of a problem, because you want to find a measurement of length of antenna that is not resonant on any frequency. It's the antithesis of a resonant antenna. You want the least resonant location, and that is more difficult. So
how long a wire are you planning on using for the 9-to-1?
It's going to be over 80 feet for sure.
Okay, because I only did 41 feet is the Pac-10, I think. So
wait,
with a longer wire,
you use the Pac-10 wire for a 9-to-1?
Yeah,
but it's not a non-resonant length.
Yeah, it is.
The Pac-10 is an end fed. It's an
the
end fed half wave.
49-to-1 end fed half wave is an end fed.
Yes.
But
Oh,
the 9
yes.
to 1.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The one that George gave me
Yes.
at the first convention
Yes,
we
yeah,
went to,
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm not a 9-to-1 guy.
Yeah.
That
Literally,
one.
I am not. Love George. Love him to death. Love. I don't care how you get
Josh
on the
is
air.
legit. George is trying to give him an antenna, and Josh is legit like, thanks, but no thanks.
I love however you get on the air. I love it. Get on the air is all that matters to me. I have particular preferences. So we're gonna do it. And this antenna system's great because it's literally I'm not changing very many variables. I'm literally just moving the coax feed point to the 9-to-1 and then moving the antenna feed point over to it. And it's the same reel of wire, and boom, that's it. Like, done. So I'm gonna measure it all out. I'm gonna do my little marker thing, and that's it. It's gonna be great. I hope.
And the Pac-10 9-to-1's only 29 feet long. I feel 9's longer than that. He might be right though. I don't remember.
No, 9-to-1. There's many non-resonant frequency points.
I understand
9-to-1.
But the way the Pac-10 9-to-1 comes, it might only be 29. I thought it was 41 feet. I could be wrong.
Well,
I don't remember.
Well, with that length, you can still tune up a lower band. It's just not going to be very efficient. That's
what I'm saying is whatever the stock Pac-10 9-to-1 is, beat the 49-to-1 40 meter end fed half wave.
All right.
Not by much, by some.
Okay.
But that was like one day, one whisper thing. I mean, bands can change and do change by the second. So, I could have just, when I was using the 9-to-1, the ionosphere might have been sparkling a little more than when the 49-to-1. So it'll be interesting to see your results.
Oh, is it not back to back?
Oh yeah, it was all on the same day.
Oh,
yeah.
That's fine.
But I mean, bands change. I mean, you could be in the middle of a QSO and they just drop out. You know
That's
what I mean?
True. Yeah. 100%,
so
yeah.
It's very hard to really, really, really compare antennas unless you're just doing like, the only way to really, really do it is if you had two antennas set up with two transceivers at the same time over the same ground. But even still, there's variables because they're going to be in different places, and
they're interfering.
There's that too. Yeah, I mean, there's so many variables. So, but they at least give you a snapshot of what they're doing, and in the tests that I did, the 9-to-1 performed a little better, not by much, but some.
So yeah, but, this is the old Callum way of testing or Sterling way of testing. So Callum has long been. I think I'm actually misrepresenting it, so I'm not going to talk further on it. But the basic there's two schools of thought, is that you have two antennas simultaneously transmitting with two transceivers, and you try and separate them as widely as you can. The problem is that they interfere with each other. There's just some level of interference, and when you start going so far away from each other, are you really comparing the same antennas at the same time?
Right.
Probably
because they're not over the same ground.
Exactly.
It's like
exactly.
That tree's leaves are angled different.
Yep.
I mean, it's so when I did mine, I put it up in the exact same tree and the exact same mast. Try and do everything as exact as possible.
Yep.
But you still always have. Well, when I transmitted this time, band conditions are changing. They can change even from 5 minutes later when you put up the new antenna. They could be totally different. So, and so, people might, some people have been critical of my tests because Whisper does band hopping. So you might hear, some people might hear you when you're transmitting, but then they change frequencies so they don't hear you. There's a lot of variables that go into testing antennas, and we try as best we can, but you're just there. It's impossible to isolate all the variables.
100%.
But it's still fun.
Yep.
It's still fun, and it's the name of ham radio. So
that's right.
Yeah, that's about all I got. So I'll be curious to see that video when it comes out.
That's going to be my my stretch goal. So if I can get that done tomorrow, then the video will come out next week. But my main goal is I got to wake up early in the morning. I got to scramble into the attic and run feed line. That has got to get done. and that's a hot moment. So I got to get up early to do it, man. You got to do it early. You got to do it early. Still gonna be.
I had to go up
there.
into my attic the other day because I couldn't find my tuner to use the doublet. I'm like, where the hell is this? But I cleaned out my closet. I reorganized my closet in my shack like a couple months ago, and I put a bunch of stuff in the attic. I'm like, it's got to be in the attic. So I went up there, and I mean, it's hot as Hades up there, and I was only up there for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm gonna be crawling around, man, making this work. So yeah.
Yeah. But I can stand in my attic.
Oh, I can stay in my attic too. I don't have a problem with that. The problem is that we've got some joists that I have to negotiate while I'm going around.
Oh yeah.
Because I have we're going to talk about this. There's going to probably be a video on just like how do you run feed line. If you're going to have multiple antennas, you're going to run feed line to your home. Like what do you do with the exterior spot? And I think I have de facto the solution. If you have any other solution than this, I want to see it because I think this is the best solution, period.
I've done a couple videos on that, and my answer is drill, baby, drill.
No, it's the box. Do you have the box yet? Do you have the box with the copper clad? No, yeah, I've got the box.
I drilled a hole between in the mortar between the bricks, and it's going out there. I didn't silicone them or caulk them or nothing.
No, man, you got to have the box. You got to have the junction box that has the lightning arresters on a copper clad plate or copper plate. Get everything on there. And then you got a ground spot. It's beautiful. You get it all lined up.
If you want to do it the right way.
Yeah. Yes. If you want to do it the right way. Yeah. That's the point.
What I find absolutely ironically funny is, Josh, you refuse to drill a hole and just do it like that. And Mike's all about drill, but he won't drill a hole in the car. I love it. I love it.
Dude, you know how easy it is to replace mortar between a brick?
So easy.
I know.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
I'm actually with Mike on this one. I'm fine with the drill baby drill into a house. I don't have any problem with that. There's no problem.
There's already holes in your house. You run cable lines
Constantly.
and fiber optic and all that. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But my new car? No, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. My antenna installation on my car kicks ass, and it works great.
But Mike, how do you stop people from stealing your ATOS? That was a good video. That was good.
That was probably one of the most favorite things that I've ever filmed.
Yeah, that was very good. Like, I don't know, why are we talking about this? Like, just take the... I said that. I'm like, just take the thing off and just put the cap on. You're fine.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Like, I was stupefied by that comment, but not everybody knows. So I'm here to put in the hours, the man hours to help you guys out.
Right
on. People, before it scrolls off the screen, Jody dropped a fantastic Josh meme.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's me, dude. That will be me.
That needs to go in the scrolls at the opening of the videos, Josh.
Well, only if I achieve it. I've definitely maneuvered all of the attic situations I've been in without any issues. So we'll see.
Tell Leia to just be prepared with the camera for when this happens.
Oh, to get the live?
So
no, there will be no
real...
camera. There will be a bat just swinging at me if I bust through the ceiling. Trust me. It's not
Kids, put on the blindfold. The pinata's out.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be bad.
Dang it! You beat me to it, Mike.
All right.
Great.
So next on our, and I think.
Well, hey, I gotta jet, guys. It's getting.
Yeah, I gotta head out here too soon. But
I'm gonna POTUS though.
Yeah.
Have a great. What is this week? Parks on the Air thing.
Yeah.
Support your parks
weekend. Yes. So
Obviously,
I'm gonna try and get out tomorrow. Yeah. All right, kids. Have a great evening, and yeah, that's it. Bye.
73.
Bye,
man.
Michael.
Take it easy.
73, Mike.
All right, so next on our list is Tim K0SSD. How's it going, man? The ham radio brotherhood. Oh,
good evening, everyone.
Hey, how's it going, man?
I just want to. I'm doing FT8 and on the same computer, so I'm just hoping that first time I tried this. Hope you don't hear no weird noises. Anyway, I've been chasing Tim, the POTA man, Gray Man Poda trying to get a contact, but I can't never hear him. Something about South Dakota and Indiana. He said he heard me, but I couldn't hear him. It's over 500 miles. I don't know. I
That's
talked
not
to
that
Wisconsin.
much. That's not that
I
much.
talk to guys in Wisconsin and stuff all the time. I don't know.
That's
Anyway.
further away, though. Oh, no, well,
Yeah.
Wisconsin on 40? Get on 40. Try 40.
Oh, no, 20.
Try 40.
Well, yeah, we've had one on 40.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, you know, I saw your video on the brick, the Belfang brick.
Yeah.
And I had to get one. So I got one, and it just
Okay.
showed up today.
Yeah.
So I'll start playing with that. But anyway, actually, I bought a pair because I liked the idea that it was a tri-bender. But
Yeah.
nobody else around here has that band. So
Man,
I
you
bought
could kill a
two.
guy with it, I guess, because
Yeah, I think I could.
large.
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it in my travel trailer. I figure it'll be a good weapon just in case,
Yeah.
beat somebody with it. Anyway, other than that, I don't have a whole lot of traffic, and everything's great. And always enjoy your stream, buddy.
Oh,
And
thank you, buddy.
I turned on my FT8 tonight, and you were my first contact.
Oh,
I
nice.
pointed my beam towards you, and you came right back to me, first shot. But ever since then, I've been doing nothing but Europe. Europe is coming in crazy. Anyway, other than that, everything's good. So, hey, thank you, and appreciate everything you do. K0SSD.
Well, thank you, Tim.
Out here in South Dakota.
Well, I got to say
You guys
that after we made a contact, obviously the weak link is Tim.
Oh, well, I talk to California like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But
You
I
guys
don't know
are
what
pretty
it is
close.
about Indiana. Now, I talk to guys in Georgia. I have a regular guy in Georgia I talk to all the time. On 20, but for some reason, I have a hard time getting Tim. But I'll get you sooner or later. Conditions haven't been that good. Anyway, you guys have a great one. No movie night tonight?
No. In fact, I got to catch up on the podcast. We didn't record the podcast last night, so I think I'm going to end this, go record the podcast, go to bed, and then run the coax in the attic. So, yeah, there's a lot on my plate.
Two things real quick.
Yeah.
Tim.
Oh, go ahead, Frank.
I'm surprised you didn't work me today. I was getting up into your neck of the woods no problem today. And Josh, there's one very late addition.
Okay.
I couldn't hear you.
Right on.
I tried to work you today, but for some reason I couldn't hear you. And
it was rough.
Yeah, you and Tim were on the same band. I don't know. Same tree is blocking my transmission. I don't know. But anyway, you guys have a good one, huh? And talk to you later. K0. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Tim, what's going on with your antenna, man?
Mine's fine. Yeah, it works great.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I couldn't hear Frank either.
That's funny. There were a couple N5 SKs that called me, and one, I was like, N5 SK, and then they said the second K. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
I've heard that guy.
Texas from Indiana.
I think SKK is in Arkansas.
I think so. Anyway, Josh, there's one more. Yeah.
So Bill, Ham Radio Tectonics joined us. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, I slid in here late. Just got off work, sitting in the hotel, listening to you guys. Glad to, you mentioned the word community. Glad to meet up with the people I like to hang out with. Gonna watch your stream on the rebroadcast. I can't think of the word, but anyway, just dropped the video, doing a little CW, broke out the TX500, and going back to my roots and enjoying life. So
good for you, man.
Just to say hello to you guys, and thanks for remembering me there, Frank and Josh. Thanks for the shout out. I'll say goodbye. I'm not going to keep you.
Well, I'll see you in Huntsville here shortly. So looking for a good time. I'll see you then, man. Take it easy.
Absolutely. 73 guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got we got to the end there, and I do have to go because I got to go coordinate with the wife for the podcast, and then get up early. I got to get up as early as I possibly can, but it will depend on when the podcast wraps. So if you're not listening to us on the podcast, you can check it out, Ham Radio Crash Course Podcast, wherever you pod. I think we're everywhere. But most people find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But yeah, anywhere you search for a podcast, we should be there. And it's my wife and I talking about ham radio.
Mm-hmm.
She is a ham now. Begrudgingly, we're fighting to get her general. I don't know what that's all getting us. I don't know why we're working so hard, but hey, she's talked on HF with me before, and she did enjoy that way more than VHF UHF, which I'm glad to hear that. But anyway, got to wrap things up here.
And the CW stuff too. Don't forget that.
No, oh buddy, that's a whole hot topic right now.
Oh, I see. Did she? Because I'm probably way behind, but
no, it's turned into a hot button issue that folks. What's really crazy is there's literally. So we started doing the CW Lounge. By the way, go check out Ham Radio or hamtactical.coffee, and you can get in on the monthly Ham Radio coffee subscription if you want to, or just buy one of your favorite flavors. It doesn't matter. We got coffees. I've tested them all. They're fantastic coffees, just like we did Give It the Beans in the past, which came from the podcast. I was remiss by not saying anything about that. But so we started the Ham Radio Crash Course podcast fairly bare bones. But one of the tentpole things was Leia progressing along with her license. And she's been doing that, and it's been great. And then we added the CW Lounge, which was her training to learn CW better. And she's actually really good. I think if she practiced a lot, she'd probably pick it up faster than I can. But she doesn't put any time into it. And so people would listen to it, and they're like, oh, I just don't want to listen to Leia, fail at CW over and over again. Possibly, I don't know. But the idea was that people listening would try and practice CW on their own because I'm literally playing the tones.
That's exactly what I do.
Right. So I'm literally playing the tones for people to participate in learning CW.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's a grassroots effort on my own podcast to make a vote on banning or removing the CW Lounge from the entire lineup, which I don't think that they necessarily have just like our government, you can't just make a let's poll and do a poll to vote something off. I'll listen to you, but I don't know that I'm going to oblige you by getting rid of CW because frankly, I think that okay. By the way, here's spoiler alert for the topic of the podcast if you're going to tune in tomorrow. We have a problem in the sense of people think that ham radio is too expensive. CW is the way. CW is the way to make everything the cheapest hobby you could possibly imagine. What did I say earlier? Nothing in ham radio is free. Exchange money for radio for single sideband. For save the money, your time and your education, CW. There's your solution. If you get CW active, your radio prices go down by 80%, if not more, if you just want to do CW. Easily.
And QRP does not count as anywhere near as much as it does in SSB.
No. Yeah, no. Come on, everybody, get on Morse code. Come on, save the money, save the time. Get on Morse code.
And what I love about the podcast on the CW side is the fact that I'm driving, I have to head copy.
Good.
And it forces me to have to head copy. And I did really well today when I was listening to it. So, in
the last couple episodes, we haven't done it because she's focusing on nailing that general test. So we're not doing the CW match, which, if we got to put priority on something, let's get those licenses out of the way, as you all should do too, is get the licenses out of the way and then focus on those cool things that you want to do, for sure.
Yeah, and what I used to do, and I've mentioned this before, but back in the day, when they didn't have the voice recorders on the repeaters, me and my wife both would copy, head copy the repeater IDs.
Yep.
And you can still do that occasionally, but they just don't ID in CW that much. But that's how I used to stay in practice. And unfortunately, I've got to relearn the whole damn thing. But it's something I enjoyed before tremendously.
Yeah.
And I really want to do it again. And there's just nothing quite like sitting there with that it's an adrenaline rush to me to sit there and try to rag chew with somebody on CW.
Oh yeah.
And then, and actually at the end of it, I am shaking, but I am so excited that I was able to actually do it every single time I did it.
And you feel like validated as a person every time you do it. You're like,
Yeah.
man, I did that. That's freaking cool. Like every time. I've never walked away from a CW contact. I've walked away with some shame, no question, but I've always walked away more positive than shame because I mean, the fact you made it work is just awesome. So yeah, Morse code's where it's at. It continues to be where it's at, and I don't know how we can continue. We got to share all the knowledge across the board to all the things. Single sideband's easy. People get on voice with not much problem. All the radio manufacturers, love that. But hardcore CW, I don't even mean like hardcore, like let's do a rag chew on CW, but like just POTA contacts. You can do that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
easy. It's easy. Summits on the air, easy, super easy. So I hope you think about it.
Yeah, it's so easy on POTA because there's no pressure. You sit there and you listen to them until you get it right, and then you can even sit there a little longer and think through exactly what the contact's going to be, and then go for it. I've only done it once, but I need to do it more. Kyle's been on, and I wanted to work Kyle from Yellowstone.
Yeah.
But every time I get the ham alert, I go in there, he's already off.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, everybody on the Discord, I'm going to head out here. So 73 to y'all. I appreciate you, and take it easy, all right?
73, Josh. See you next week.
73, Josh.
All right. Well, appreciate y'all watching and hanging out with me on the After Chat. Let's try for next week, if you're watching, take the link in the description, get your Discord all set up, and then join us. Ask questions. This is what it's all about. We want to answer your questions. Like, if you got a ham club where you live, totally fine. Take your questions to them. If you got an Elmer that you know, do that. Please go one-on-one. But if you don't have that, that's what we're trying to do out here. So if you can help us out by helping you out, literally, because it all works out in a positive for amateur radio, the more ham radio operators we have on the air. That's the goal. We'll continue to keep doing it. I will see you next week. And 73.